on here to share some really good news, some exciting things that are happening. And what better way to do that than to go live and take you into my store? As many of you may know, I have published 53 books to date. Actually, 54. My 54th book was sent to the printer yesterday. I'm waiting for their final approval. So technically, it's not out just yet, but it will be coming out, and I am beyond thrilled. Okay. If you have been desiring to write a book, you have books in you, you are a repeat author, you want to do this, you are doing this, I want to welcome you to my live. Okay. I want to take you through my journey of books. It won't be the 12 days of Christmas because I have more books than that, but I'm definitely going to step you through many of the books and explain to you, answer your questions if you have any about writing and publishing, as well as how do you really build a good story. I'm going to go over that. And then how do you know if your books are going to sell? I mean, the truth is there are no guarantees in business, right? So we do our best to meet our clients with what we are promising to deliver. And the first thing that you want to know when you are going to write your book or publish or do anything business-wise is, are you going to hit your intended audience, your targets, your clients, your customers? Are you building something they need, they want, or they see an immediate need to move on it now? Or are you really giving them ideas that will take longer for them to be nurtured or cultivated and to ultimately find something from you? Okay. So I want to break down some things, some components to the business, but I want to talk to you a lot about the books that I've done because I'm excited. I've sold over 1,000 books this year alone. Okay. So if you're like, can I really do this? Is this possible? How did you do it? I'm going to be going over a lot of that today. Okay. Wealthy VIP. Hey sis, how you doing? Hey sir, how you doing? Hugs and love always. It's so good to see you back. I'm excited. I believe you're going to grow with me today. If you have questions, please let me know. You have been so faithful on my live. So I got to give you a shake. If y'all know me, y'all know I have to do my own shake. All right. So y'all can hear it better. I know sometimes they mute out your talking when you add the sound effects. So allow me to do my sound effects a little differently. But yes, good morning, everyone, and welcome. Okay. Now, if you have a genre that you want to do, I want to ask you definitely to put it in the chat. Okay. Put it in the comments. Let me know, and I will point out a book that's in your genre. I'll show you how I did it. Okay. Tell you how I did it and how I can help you do it too. All right. So if you're a writer enthusiast and you're ready to get published, let's do this. Okay. One of the things that I do a lot of live events. So if you're wondering, well, how are you really selling all of these books and all this stuff? I honestly sell a lot of books through live events. Okay. So what was the book that started my journey? I want to bring you there first. Okay. So I'm going to take you to that pen and I'm going to share with you kind of how I got there. Right. I don't think anybody just necessarily goes into a business knowing all the time what all it will do. We just pray, it will do something good or great, especially if we've never done it before. So at the time, I had already started one business before, so I had a good understanding of what the business side could look like, but I never really sold a book. So I didn't know everything. Okay. And it's okay to come into this business, to come into something you want to do and not know everything. All right. So here's my first book. It's called Alone but Never Lonely. I wrote this book inspired by my life at the time. And at the time, I was leaving my stepfather's house and just kind of getting past that. I was getting out on my own, figuring out how the life world works and how honestly it can be a little frustrating, a little deflating, and extremely challenging. Because I had to get a job, I had to maintain an apartment, and I was doing all of this at 18. Like, turn 18, figuring it all out, and I knew I wasn't coming back home. Okay? So if you have a moment in your life, if this is a season where you're like, I am not turning back around. I cannot turn around from here. I won't start over. As far as going back, I'm only going to start from where I'm at today. If that's you, this is a really good book to encourage your journey forward. Because although you may be alone on this journey to begin with, it doesn't mean you're lonely. And I know it's hard to say you're not lonely when you look around and there's nobody there. There's nobody you can talk to. Maybe your roommate abandoned you, which is what happened to me. I was supposed to move out with a roommate. She ended up leaving. And when she left, it left me with all bills. Okay. And then I had to get a new job because where the apartment was, it was on a different side of town. And I did not want to try to start something new with old things happening. All right. So if that's you, I want to encourage you. Starting over is not always the worst thing that can happen to you. Sometimes it's the only thing that can happen to you if you want to change where you're going forward. Okay. So in this book, I started off with that. Of course, I give you a little bit of my backstory. In that my grandfather made the book. And one of the things when I was younger that my grandfather had me to do that never left my memory. G7 Ranch Man, how you doing? Thanks so much for following the live. I see you. Thank y'all for the hearts. So one thing I realized is my granddaddy loved to hunt. And I had no idea what hunting was. So when he had like this pellet rifle gun, he had me to look through the scope and he told me to look straight. And there was a bunny. And he told me, that ain't a bunny, that's a hare. I said, Granddaddy, it's not a hare, it's a bunny. I've seen him in the pet store. He's like, no, we're not in the pet store. Hey, Tootie Jr., thank you so much for following the live, babe. And he was like, that's not a bunny, Crystal, that's a hare. I said, all right, well, I see it. He says, okay, well, hold it there. When I tell you to shoot, just shoot. And I was like, okay. And it did not click to me that there was pellets in this gun. It didn't click to me that anything was going to happen to that bunny. How many of you, somebody is telling you what to do and you trust them wholeheartedly that you're not questioning anything you're doing? You're just following the instructions. So I follow my granddaddy's instructions. That dude, how you doing? Thanks for following. I'm following my grandfather's instructions. And then when he says to shoot, without second guessing it, I release, I do the thing, and then I see the hare, the bunny, just fall over. I said, oh my gosh, what happened to the bunny? He said, Crystal, you shot the bunny. I said, oh my gosh, I shot a bunny. It's dead. He's like, yeah, you got it. And I just remember bawling, crying. I remember going in the house telling my grandmother, oh my God, I was murderer, Grandma, I killed a bunny. And my grandfather was so proud of me. But I was like freaking out. John, thank you so much, John, for following. I see you. I was freaking out. And my grandmother told my grandfather, his name is Charles Dean, and she was like, Charles Dean, you done scared the mess out of that child. That child is scared. Because I really was. And then the sad part is, he ends up cooking the rabbit. He told me it was chicken. So I ended up eating the poor rabbit that I did not know I was going to kill. And it was actually very tasty. But that was the moment I realized I can't trust everything my granddaddy serves. Because he'll have me eating rabbit when I think I'm eating chicken. I ended up having turtle before, and I'm just like, yeah, no, not anymore. I had to actually put the brakes on my grandfather because he was getting a little outrageous. So I say all that to say this. If you don't know where you're going and someone else is leading you, they can lead you to a place you may not want to go. And if you don't want to go, you need to know where you want to go so the right people can take you where you're trying to get to. When I was in this apartment by myself, I didn't have all the answers, but I knew where I did not want to go. And sometimes we start there. Sometimes we don't start with knowing everything or having a game plan. We just know, Lord, I got to do something. And this is part of that something. Okay. So I want to let you guys know, if you're liking this live, go ahead and share it. Go ahead and continue to put up the hearts and the likes. I see you all. We're at 434 likes. In case you're wondering, my goal, definitely the next one is to get to 1,000 likes. So we're well on our way. We're halfway there. Okay, so keep doing what you guys do best. Thank you, Wealthy VIP. I see you sharing. John, I also want to encourage you as well. Thank you so much for sharing the live as well. Okay, so yes. So in this book is it's funny. I don't know how not to write and be funny. And I would say this is one of the critical aspects of writing your book is people have to feel you through your book. I know it's really tempting to use AI and have AI do it all, but I want to tell you, AI doesn't connect with people the way you do. Okay. It's meant to mimic human interaction, but it is not a human. Okay. So if you're wanting it to do everything you could do, it won't. Okay. Now, it's not a bad tool if you need help with creating an outline, if you need a place to start. Maybe you're not a graphic designer, and so that's not your thing. But writing is. All right. Use it where you may need it, especially until you can afford to do better. Okay. AI can do a lot, but I would dare say it can never replace you. Okay. It can never replace your customers. All right. So you want to be your authentic self and deliver what you say. No one wants a perfect book. I know people might think they do, but they don't. They don't want a book that they can't relate to. They don't want a author that talks over their head and use vocabulary they've never seen before. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Some of us are putting out children's books and they're written to the level of a college graduate. That child ain't reading your book, okay? And the parents are a little sketchy because they're like, Lord, I got to sit here and read all this. They may not read your book. So, what does happen? What does that mean, or what happens with your book? It does not meet the demands of your audience and it does not sell. The collection by Cord, thank you so much for following, okay? So if you're wondering why are my books not selling, or how do I avoid the pitfall of creating something that doesn't work, no one wants at the time, or they don't know how to use, then you want to be authentic to the person you're writing for. Okay. So even if AI wrote your book, you have to edit that. Okay. I don't write any of my books with AI. I don't need it. And I'm going to show you how you don't need it either. I know you might say, well, Crystal, I'm not a writer. That's okay. I want to let y'all know we reached 1,000 likes. Thank you guys so much. We hit our first goal. Let me give you all of that on TikTok. Okay. So if, let's see if we can get to 5,000. That's our new goal. Okay. I know it's a huge jump, but I think we could do it. But anywho, so if you are now trying to figure out what to write, I want to encourage you to consider what your why statement is. Why are you writing? Who are you writing to? And the back of your book should be the answer to that. Okay. When people pick up your book, they're going to look at the back and they're going to say, wow, what's in your book? I want to know. Tell me more. And so this is your caption. This is your caption. This is your hook. This is why people will say, I need that in my life. Okay. I'm going to read you my first back copy I ever wrote. And 53 books later, I'm going to take y'all on a journey. Okay. I'm not going to probably get through all 53 books, but we're going to see how far we go. All right. So here is the first one. If you think this book is about a battered woman who broke free and escaped torment, this book is not quite that. Okay. This is a story about a woman and her struggles while alone in the midst of traditional life events. Graduating high school, dating, getting married, staying married, and divorce happen every day. These life experiences, or the lack thereof, are the stones cast into the water, and the follow-up direction is the ripple. Okay. It's all right to be creative. It's all right to have some sauce in your writing. As you can see, this isn't a straightforward statement. And people don't want that. People want you. So I am a poet. So if you read a lot of my books, even children's books, I have poetry in some of my words, in my lyrics, in my pages. So when people meet me, they're like, man, you sound just like your books. You should, because you wrote it. NBC, thank you so much for following. I see you as well. Okay. Not every relationship should progress to marriage, and it is not a sad day for every marriage to end. This book documents what happens to most of us when we get ahead of ourselves and commit a lifetime to the wrong person for all the right reasons. Okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or any of those things because you get divorced. That's my point with this. I mean, if you're in the church, people will make you feel like a failure. Like, oh my God, you can't get divorced because God don't believe in it. God don't believe in some of y'all relationships. That's the truth. Some of the people we picked, the Father didn't co-sign, and he's not. He's not going to okay someone he already told you no to. Okay. And so that was one of the why statements I had in this book, because for some of us, we feel guilty. We feel like failures because of something that was necessary. For some of us, it's necessary for a relationship to end so the right ones can begin for them and for you. It's not just one-sided. It's for you and for them. Okay. So when there are mismatches, it doesn't mean one person got to clown the other one. It just means that maybe you're not for them. And it doesn't take you long to figure some of this stuff out. Honestly, if we're all honest, we knew at the beginning this wasn't going to work. We even said it. I don't feel like this is going to work. But something in us, was it pride? Was it hope? Was it determination? Was it your focus? Was it you being blindsided by maybe some of the things you're doing, whether it's sexual, mental, social, you don't want to be alone. So you just try to like lie to yourself, because that's what we're doing, right? Really. So we just be like, Lord, it's going to get better. And the Father's like, no, it's not. But the Father says what? Obedience is greater than sacrifice. But a lot of us are willing to sacrifice before we're willing to be obedient. So we don't really get to walk in heaven on earth. We're really walking through hell. And we're like, Lord, where is heaven? Heaven is what? Where obedience is. This is why we need to learn to be obedient, because that is where you're going to find the blessings, the signs, miracles, and wonders that should be following you. So if you're not seeing these things in your life, the question is, are you in alignment with what the Father has for you? Or have you been doing your own thing, hoping to strike gold? Okay. So follow me already. We're gonna go. I'm gonna show y'all how to do this. Okay. I've been doing it. I've been writing since I was a kid. Well, I don't like using the word kid because I'm not a donkey or something. But I've been writing since I was a child, since I was in middle school. I love it. And when I was in middle school, I started getting really good in math. And then I don't know what happened. I hit high school and I just started sailing and writing because I love expressing myself. I love writing to defend people or to show someone something, to help people to learn. And so it's not a shocker, that I've written songs, I've written plays, I've written movies, I've written books. So you might find that that's similar to you. The Father has birthed all of us with plenty of gifts. And so use your gifts and your talents to your benefit because they're made to bless you. Your gifts are going to what? Make room for you. But if you don't use your gifts, what room is it making? It's only making more room in the grave because that's where it's going to go. For some of us will never walk in everything the Father has for us because we did not pursue it. Okay. It's not just going to manifest by itself and mature itself. You can have a natural talent for basketball or for singing or whatever you like to do. But if you don't train, if you don't study to show yourselves approved, then what will you really have? You'll be enthusiastic. And there's a lot to be said about that. Just in case you're curious, we're at 2,500 likes. We're halfway to 5,000. So you guys are doing great. Thank you so much. Continue to lift up those hearts and let's get to 5,000. All right. Okay, we're going to keep going. So what happens when love dries up or perhaps reality is revealed and the person staring you in the face no longer seems to fit in your puzzle? How many of us saw people go through that with COVID? You locked in the same house, can't go nowhere, can't go shopping, can't go do something to get distracted. You can't avoid them. And so now you have to decide, Lord, what was I thinking? Now you're dealing with your own thinking. Okay. So this is what COVID did for a lot of us. It gave us a clear head because we were in the clouds. We were okay with being okay. We were driving the car that we were willing to marry for. But now we can't drive a car. So now we're looking at that marriage a lot differently. All right, Tella Johnson, thank you, honey, for following. I see you, hon. I also saw one of my Rose members come back orange. How you doing, babe? I'm gonna give you a bell. Welcome, welcome, and thanks for being in the room. Wealthy VIP, I know you're in the Rose Club as well. Thank you so much. For you that are going to join my fan club on TikTok, thank you. It will allow you to get alerted and get specialty invitations to TikTok lives I do specifically for you. So thank you, and I see you. Treg Mathis, thank you so much, hon, for following. I see you as well. All right. So here we go. Marriage is our stab at believing in a perfect dream. We attempt to have a perfect marriage or union when imperfect people establish the union with prayerfully a perfect God at the center. How many of us are mad because our spouse is not perfect? How many of us are mad we're not perfect? Okay. Jaden, I see you. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you. If you guys can share these lives, that will let other people know I'm on and allow them to experience this journey we're on. So go ahead and invite them in the room. Just so y'all know, we're at 3,000 likes. So we have less than 2,000 to go. We're at 3,200. So keep lifting up those hearts. Keep sharing. That will allow other people to come in the room. All right. So yeah. Okay, we trying to make everyone perfect because we want other people to be the God we need. Let me be very clear. Your husband is not your God. Neither is your wife. Neither is your job. Neither is your bank account. If these things are your God, they're going to let you down. Okay. The Bible says, put your hope in no man, no woman. A job is owned by a man. Products are what? Created by men. So when we put all our hope in these things and they let us down, it's one of the most heartbreaking things we can experience. But the real thing is the disappointment we feel because we're like, how did I get here? Why did I put all of this on you? Why did I not put it somewhere else? And I want to encourage you, that's not the worst place to be in. To see yourself and how you are spending your time and investing it is one of the best benefits you can do. Because when you don't see a problem, you can't fix it. Damien, how you doing, hon? Thank you so much for following. I see you. Okay. So you're in a good spot. If you're like, whoa, Crystal, All right, you all in my business. If I'm in your business, keep doing the likes, keep sharing, because you're going to see how other people are in the same space. Everything I put in this book, it was my business. Okay. So I had to be willing to be vulnerable first. As an author, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. I'm not talking about exploiting yourself. There's a difference. Exploitation is not a good way to write a book. I know some people feel it is, but people are reading this. People will judge you because that's what people do. And it is hard to see people who are not better than you judge what you're doing when they would have done the same thing, if not worse. And this is your mindset because you know it's true, but it's hard to fight the world. So don't put yourself in a position where you have to. Kyle, Kiki, thank you both for following. I see you. Okay. So if you felt this way, if you're going through this, trust me, alone but never lonely is it. You can be in a room by yourself. You can be in a room with other people and still feel lonely because people don't understand you. They don't understand why does she do that? Why does he do that? Why does he care so much? Why won't he just sit down somewhere? Why won't she just do this? People are so quick to try to tell you what to do, but those same people cannot see themselves. Okay. So don't allow people who can't see you properly to judge you, especially if they're not judging you with the same heart. I love what someone said. They said, keep that same energy when this happens. Keep that same energy. And it's funny how a lot of people stop talking. Okay. When you start winning, that same energy isn't there. Now it's called what? Now humility is there. But if you had humility to begin with, you wouldn't be eating anything. You wouldn't have to eat crow because you didn't put nothing out there. All you're doing is reaping what you sow. So sow good things so you can reap them. Okay. Just so y'all know, we're at 4,300 likes. Y'all are doing it on TikTok. I love y'all. Okay. All right, John. I see you. Good to see you back too. I see you. All right. So we got a little bit more. We got less than 600 likes. Okay. So keep putting up the hearts. We're going to hit 5,000. That is all to you guys. I appreciate you on other platforms. Thank y'all for being here. I see you too. Be sure to put comments in. When you put the comments in, I can share them, dialogue with you too. Okay. So we're going through the cover. You see how much you can get from a good cover? I can teach you my whole book from my covers, because my covers deliver what I'm talking about. Do not write your book and the back don't match the inside. I know it's real tempting to put your biography on the back. Let me tell you, if people don't know you, your biography is not what they're going to be looking for on the back of your book. They're going to be looking for what you're going to give me when I read this to make me want to read this and get to know you. So inside your book, put your biography. If you go to my books, my biography is at the end of the books. Okay. About the author is at the end of my book, not in the back of my books, because you don't know me yet. Even though I have 54 titles, I still don't put my biography at the back of my books because I don't matter, in the sense of I want to give you what you came for the book. Okay. And because I want to give you what you came for, you might only have 2 seconds, 30 seconds to read this. And if this don't hit home, you move on to another book that does it. But the sad part is some of y'all books are delivering, but people never get to it because they either don't like your cover or they don't understand your back copy. Your back copy don't match what you're talking about. Just so y'all know, we're at 5,400 likes. Y'all went above and beyond. We're almost at 10,000. Let me ring a bell, okay? That means y'all are liking this, you're loving this, and I love you, okay? I do publish books. I do publish books. I am a publisher, ghostwriter, editor, and book consultant. So if you're like, Crystal, I got ideas, but I don't know what I'm doing, you can either DM me, or if you hang out in the live after this book, I'm going to share with you a resource that if you buy that guide, I'm going to give you a free consultation with me, and I'm going to show you how to do this. All right. I can show you or do it for you. Usually those are the two ways. Okay. Santino Beats. How you doing, hon? Thank you so much. Hearts and love. Thank you for joining my fan club, sweetie. Okay. So I want to let y'all know I'm going to drop that knowledge here in a second. Hustle team, I appreciate your comment, your question. You want to write your book? The short answer is I'm going to show you how to do it in this live, or I can help you do it. If you need help writing, editing, or publishing, I want you to DM me if you don't do anything else. But if you want to grab this guide, I'm going to give you a free consultation that's valued at $156, and I'm going to show you what to do. So if you want to work with me, I'm going to give you reduced service fees. I do work with celebrity clients, but if you go this route, I'm going to make it relative to where you are. Okay. Being transparent. You're right. Stop faking. You got to be transparent. If you're not going to be transparent, how do they know you're real? You see, a lot of people now are working with people and they are not really knowing if they're viable businesses. Are they incorporated? Are they real? And these things are a priority. These things you do want to check out. Okay. So I encourage y'all to definitely vet people and make sure they're who can really help you. If I tell you I have 53 books and you can't click on my shop and see all 53, I would wonder too. But if you click on any of these pins, you'll see all the physical books. In fact, they're all behind me. Okay. So I believe in practicing, saying, delivering, and doing what I say on the back of my books and on the inside. All right. So let's journey a little bit more, and then I'm going to share that resource for those of you who want to write and publish your books, how I can help you. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 offers. Thank you so much. Definitely DM me. I'm going to give you 2 offers. One is if you want to buy the guide. If you get the guide, I will still give you that consultation to answer any questions you have about the guide. But if you want to start services, if you're like, Crystal, I know I'm going to do this. In fact, I want you to help me do this and make it a business. Help me make it a business. Then I'm going to give you a different offer. Okay. It's $156 if you want to do that. And I'm going to show you ultimately how I've done it 54 times myself for me, not including all my clients. Okay. But I can write, but I do need a professional opinion. So you want to do a consultation. Okay. So if you know you want a professional opinion on your book, you're going to want to do a consultation with me. Okay. In that consultation, I will review your material and then give you a feedback on how you can go to what's the next step. Right. Dennis, I see you, hon. Thank you so much for following. Okay. So if you're like, Crystal, I'm ready to go. I'm not debating. The guide is great, but you definitely want to do the 156 offer, which will include me reviewing your work. If you want to do that and you're on TikTok, you will have to DM me your name and your phone number, and I'll call you, and your email address. And then we can set up that call and I'll be able to send that to you. Okay. And here on all the other platforms, I'm going to just share this with you real quick. Since it's a lot of people asking the question, I want to make sure I deliver your answers real quick in case I know everybody's moving. The holiday is approaching. So let me post these for you real quick. Okay. So if you want to get the guide, I'm going to post the guide first. In this guide, I'm going to give you a consultation. Okay. But in this consultation, we're going to review the publishing process. So you'll know the steps to get published. Okay. How to write anything that you're working on, what you need to do, how to do your outline. Those are the things we're going to discuss. Okay. I'm going to go over this guide so you know how to use it. All right. This is a hardback book. Okay. I believe in books that are supposed to last to be made to last. All right. So it's not done cheap. This book is in color. Okay. Everything I'm going to talk to you about that we can fit in that consultation is in here already. Okay. So you don't have to take notes. You can just flow with the conversation. So come to the conversation with your questions, and I'm going to help you solve it, get the answers. All right. But if you're like, Crystal, I know I'm ready to do this. I want to get my book done in 90 days or less. Like, yes, I'll buy the book so I know what I'm doing, but I really want to work with you. If you want to work with me as a publisher or as a consultant where I'm literally coaching you through every step, we'll have 4 consultations after the initial one, then you are going to want to do the offer for 156. Okay. So in that 156, I'm going to review your content. Okay. With the 85, I'm not going to review your content, but I am going to talk you through the process. So if you want to get talked through the process and for me to review what you have, then you want to do the 156 offer. On TikTok, you're going to have to, again, DM me your name, email, and phone number, and I will reach back out to you. And then I'll take you through the 156 consultation, okay? But if you grab the guide, then you will at least be able to get on my calendar and call me and have a consultation. And then we can always do the difference of that 156 later. Okay. So either way, I would strongly suggest starting with a book and having this guide, because this guide is going to show you everything you need to do. All right. To get your book done. And I mean written in 90 days or less, and then published ultimately the same. When I ghostwrite for my clients, I finish stuff in 90 days or less. Okay. All my books I finished in about that time or less. Some of them 30, some of them a week. So it just depends, right? I'm blessing the lives of the first 5 people. I don't know who you are, so I don't know what you're going to bless people with, and I don't want to necessarily co-sign for that. So I don't know, but may you bless people anyway, because it's a Merry Christmas, right? So yes, okay, guys. So I want to make sure we're staying on subject as well. So we were talking about book one, right? Okay, so I was talking about the importance of your back copy for your book. Okay, so I want to just go over that real quick. So if you're wondering, how do you sell books? You sell books by making sure what you're posting is relevant to what people are actually going to experience. Okay, so if you're posting something, it's not in your book, but it's in the back, you want to look at your back copy again. And you want to consider updating it because it doesn't match. All right, and you want these to match. All right. So rounding out the back, right? With the best of circumstances, many find themselves alone, alone in the marriage, alone because of divorce, alone because we didn't settle or the other gave up. This series is for those who know they are not crazy, gave their life, relationship, or marriage their best, and are alone. So if you've ever given a relationship your best and it still didn't work out, this book is for you. Okay. It's to encourage you, yes, to live again. It's to encourage you. It's not the end of the world, yes, but it's a lot deeper than that. Okay. And I see you too over here. Thank you so much for using the link. I look forward to giving you signed copies. By the way, all the copies you buy are signed. Okay. If you want the digital copies, you will have to hit my link in my profile. If you want the digital copy, it's $10. Okay. But if you want the physical books, they are $17.99. Okay. And then there is shipping that will be added to that, just so you know. All right. Let's see where we are. Let's go. You can be alone, but that doesn't mean you're lonely. We must learn who we are, but be true to ourselves and fight for what we want and don't settle. I know it's really easy to settle when you feel like what you're looking for may not happen. It's too much to ask. I used to feel that way. I learned real quick. Not really. It took me years to figure this thing out, but eventually I did get to it and it helped me. It saved me. Okay. There are deal breakers we all should have, and we should not be ashamed of them. If you are unable to stay with your spouse, if they cheat on you and you find they have, you are not a failure if you leave and honor your deal breaker. If you find that forgiveness is in your heart, forgive and be prepared to work like mad to get back what was lost. Neither of the two is weak if they are true to themselves. The strength is in being true and making choices with your eyes wide open. I trust this book will encourage you to find yourself and remember there is value in being alone because it doesn't mean you're lonely. Okay. So I want to encourage you. There are things that we will be willing to do for our soulmate that we'll never do for somebody that's not. There are going to be things we are going to love to challenge ourselves to grow to do for the person that we choose. Okay. I just want to encourage you. Make sure that person's not Delilah. Make sure that person is not plotting your downfall. Look at how they treat you because it matters. Naples Shop, thank you so much for following. I see you. Okay. So these things do matter because they impact you. They impact your children. They impact everything around you. Okay. And real quick on TikTok, we've been doing really great with the likes and the shares. So if you guys can continue to do that, you'll let other people hear about this road we're on. All right. And the same thing over here as well. If you guys want to share this live, let other people know we're having it, we're doing this, and we're going to take you on a road of 53 books. Of course, I probably won't finish them all, but I want to show you how my process has helped me publish 54 books as of now. And I'm nowhere near done. All right. So I'm going to show you if you're a repeat author, get encouraged, get inspired, because that's what I love to do. I love to help you see yourself, find yourself. So if you guys can definitely put up the likes, definitely put up the shares. Thank you a million times. It allows other people to get in the ring. Our goal for this live is to get to 10,000 likes. We're at 5,600, so we have a bit more to go. So if you guys can help me meet that goal, thank you, thank you. And over here as well, if you can share, definitely connect with me on the books. Feel free to do that. And we're going to move on to something new. One of the things that I love about writing books. I know a lot of people say, well, how do you come up with your titles? You know, what makes you decide what you're going to do next? And the truth is, it just depends on what's happening in life. It depends on what I am either going through or seeing others go through, and ultimately with a desire to help people or to explore my own passions and stuff, I write books on it. Okay. So my next book that I wrote, Okay. So here's the next book. All right. It's called The Ecstasy. You want heaven, but you won't give up hell.
Now, this title was so wild when I heard it. I was like, this is kind of crazy, Crystal. From a person who's never, done drugs and have no interest in doing drugs. I was like, why would I name the book something so close to, you know, something that could be so controversial for me anyway? Um, and so I'm gonna share this one. So this is where we're talking about next. In case you're wondering where that book is, Tony, thank you so much for sharing the live. I see you and I appreciate you. For those that are sharing, thank you. Sunman, you see the humor in this? Green Ivy, thank you for following, hon. But they don't know themselves. I'm telling you, a lot of us don't know ourselves, which is how we ended up, getting into some stuff because we don't know it all. But the key is to learn yourself, got to get to that point. Okay. So here's the book. Thank you over here for using the link to grab this book. I'm going to talk you through this book and the concept. Again, if I don't tell you nothing, make sure the back of your book matches what's in it, please and thank you. Spades Black, thank you so much for following me. I see you. User, thank you for being a number 3 title gifter. I appreciate you too. Okay, so in this book, okay, the ecstasy, you want heaven, but you won't give up hell. This book right here, I said, my. Okay, y'all, as y'all probably have noticed, very few of my books have a picture of me on the back. So I'm gonna show you the two. Matter of fact, it's the first 2 books that I put my picture on the back. This is my hair when I had blonde highlights, like a blonde burgundy brown color. I love that color. It's really pretty. I might do it one day. One day. We'll see. And then this was my second book when I had my hair straight. It was still natural though, y'all. The lady who was doing my hair was so good with natural hair. She was able to cut, curl it, everything, and I still had a fro. It was insane. I was like, you talented, you gifted. Everybody got a gift, right? All of us got gifts. We were all born with something. So use your something. All right. Okay. So here it is. The ecstasy. You want heaven, but you won't give up hell. All right. What's on the back? The Ecstasy is a book dedicated to the struggle of living life according to godly principles and rejecting the ecstasy that calls for us all. The ecstasy is an everyday thing that keeps you from living the life that the great I am has called us to live. This book causes for a self examination and offers the opportunity to evaluate what you believe and in whom you have your trust. Okay. Chasing the ecstasy may be fun in its infancy, but it leads to death. All sin, when full grown, leads to death. Encourage yourself and those around you on how to live a life where you are a vessel of honor and not dishonor. Okay. All right. It's a lot of meat in there. So now I want to take you through some of the inside of this book, because what I love about how I have learned to do books, this is the formatting of this book. Okay. Latif, thank you so much for following me. I see you. Oh, there you go. Okay. So when I first did this one, my game on formatting, it wasn't all the way there, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was basic in formatting with this one, but I'm gonna tell you one thing that's never dwindled in my books is the meat. Your experience, your words are what makes your book great. Graphics help, okay? They do help, but they are not the all in all. Your back cover will do more for you, okay, over time than your front cover. Because people are like, okay, what is this book? What's even on the back? And they're like, dang, I didn't think that was going to be in there. So you can still use your words to be the most powerful aspect of your book. The question is, can you talk people through your book? Okay. If you struggle to talk people through your book, you're going to struggle to sell it, no matter how nice the cover is. I've had people love my covers, but the first thing I tell them is turn it around, look at the back. And then they're like, oh, this is so good, I want to buy the book. And they do. Okay. You might say, well, somebody really paid $20 for a book. All the time. This year alone, I sold over 1,000 books. Okay. And all of them range from $16 to $20. Most of them, some of them are $35. And then some of them are $75, $85, like the guides. Okay. So all things are possible to those that believe, because your gifts will make what? Room for you. The people you're sent for will find you. Not everybody is your ideal customer, and you have to be okay with that. Some people are going to pick your stuff up and say it's not worth it. But do you not put it out because these people don't think it's worth it? Or do you go into the atmosphere where people can appreciate what you're putting down? That's what I'll encourage you to do. Dante, I see you. Thanks, Tom, for following. Okay, I know someone just put a comment. Let me make sure I get it. Good afternoon, beautiful lady. Good afternoon, Larry. How you doing? Okay, so make sure y'all put your comments in so I can catch you as well. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing anyone. Power Gifts. Thank you so much for being on. I know you said congratulations to author Jacob. Jacob, just to give y'all an update, Jacob started his writing journey not a couple of months ago. And when he started the book club with me. And when he started the book club, he said he was going to do a book, but he was like, man, that's going to take years. It's going to take years. I said, Jacob, who do you think you're talking to? First of all, no, it doesn't. You're talking to Crystal. Crystal makes writing easy. So I'm going to show you how to do it in 90 days or less. And guess what? He wrote his book in less than 90 days from start to finish by himself. And then he ultimately hired my company to help him to publish his book. And I was able to get his book published. It is now available. It got published in December, and he's looking to do his book launch in January for his birthday. So it's going to be more news for that. Power Gift, I would love for you to be obviously involved in that. I'm going to give you the details. I'm going to share them on my page. I believe in supporting authors. I know how hard it is, and I know how joyful you will be when you get it done. And somebody said, wait, I thought that was Beyonce's sister. Hey, Amy. No, babe. I know I look like her, though, don't I? I get it a lot. It's okay. I appreciate it. Solange is gorgeous. I'm good. I'm real good. I'm excited. Day is good. Persia, thank you so much for grabbing this book. I see you've added to your cart. Anyone who is buying this book, I do sign them and mail them out to you. I am doing a mail run today. So as long as you put your orders in today during this live, I will definitely get them into the mail to you today, and you will get tracking details as well. All right, so go ahead and do that. I'm going to step you through the book because you got to know, I would want to know, right, what's in this, Crystal? In case you're wondering, this book is 5-star rated. For everyone that's bought it, I've gone to events and people say, I got that book at home. It's so good. In fact, I just did an event this past weekend, and that's exactly the sentiments. And I was like, well, good. I'm glad you read it. Because she read it. I think that's the key too. It's not just that people are liking your books, but are they reading them? And then are they impacting, empowering them? Okay. So I'm going to encourage you in that. Persia, thank you, baby, also for following. I see you and I thank you. User, I know you got long numbers behind you, but you know I see you. And there's your bell. Okay. Hugs and love. If y'all are liking the live, please be sure to continue to put up the hearts, continue to share. Our goal is to get to 10,000 likes on the live. We're at 6,000 just about. So keep helping me, and we'll keep definitely doing what I do, which is talking about stuff that I believe is going to help you. Okay. So what's in the book? First thing you want to know, table of contents, it matters. Okay. I believe in doing a forward in books, especially when you're going to be dealing with topics that are either sentimental or are going to allow people to know what they're about to walk into, especially if they're getting a verbal or, if they're going to walk into something that's transformational, try to give them a forward. I even have some books that the dedication is several pages long because I want to make sure people understand how I wrote this book, why I'm writing it, and how you're going to benefit from it, even before you open the rest of the book. Because what do we do? Lord, I really need this, but I don't have time. So if you say that, or that is true, when you read that dedication, it's going to make you say, man, dang, I need to read. Wait, did she just say? Yeah, I'm going to read that chapter. So it encourages them, especially if you write a book on procrastination. Okay. If you write a book on procrastination or finishing what you start, don't you know in your forward, you need to help people to finish what they're starting because likely they may not finish what they're starting. So you have to know your audience and who you wrote the book to. Okay. When we are dealing with stuff that makes us uncomfortable, it's really normal to say, whoa, I'm not going there. But guess what? We have to go here so that we can pull ourselves out of where we are. All right. If we're not willing to go the distance in some areas, we won't change nothing. Okay. So this is why many of my books have forwards, dedications, introductions to help people to step through the content and it not feel like they're stepping through landmines. Okay. Hi, Slim. No, I'm not Solange, but I do look like her. But thanks for your comment. I appreciate you. Okay. So first thing is the forward. The next thing is the introduction. Then the first chapter starts with this title. Okay. Who gives you the power? I think we have to definitely check, where is our power coming from? Is our power coming from God? Is it coming from the Bible? Is it coming from our own feelings, our own experiences, our thoughts, what we thought somebody should have did, how we thought somebody should have treated us? Are we penalizing other people from that? Okay, these are the questions that are going to be in the chapter. I'm going to read pieces of the book, so I'm going to help you step through the content as well. Okay, Slim, thanks for following me. I appreciate you. Okay, he wants it all. I want to let you know, whether you serve the Father, yourself, or the devil, unfortunately, he wants it all. They're not going to share. The Father don't want half and the devil want the other half. They both want it all. Okay. They're both fighting, or they're both essentially seeking your soul. Okay. If you don't know what your soul is, let me help you. Your soul is not a ghost. I know we see these movies and it's like, oh, my soul is. No, that's not it. Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Okay. Your mind, your will, and your emotions. If these three things are not committed to God or to something else, then nothing has your soul. You do. Okay. It is possible to be your own God, where you have your own mind, you have your own will, and you have your own emotions, and your emotions are all predicated on how you feel. Your emotions are, in fact, driving your life, not sometimes reality, sometimes not facts, not truth, not love, not nothing. It's you, it's all you. And the danger of that is what happens when you're sad, what happens when you're angry, what happens when you are at a crossroad and you don't know what to do, and you are leading you and you don't know where to go. This says the blind leading the blind. Won't they both fall into the ditch? Because how can you see if you don't know everything? This is why we serve a all-knowing, all-loving, sovereign, omnipresent God, is because Yah is all of those things and more. When he put you on earth, he knew why he did it. It wasn't a mistake or any of these things, but the ecstasy will tell you it's uncomfortable. Let's just get what we want out of life and don't worry about nobody else. They'll figure it out, or we'll do what we got to do when we get there. But how many of you know sometimes we never arrive? Okay. Tony, how you doing? I'm doing great. Dwayne, thank you so much for following. I see you. Okay. So if y'all liking the content, please be sure to do those hearts. That way other people can see us in the algorithm, and also be sure to share. It will allow people to do that. If you have comments, please keep putting your comments out there. I would love to read and share them and answer your questions if you have any. Okay. So what's next? Don't fight. You won't win. Trust and open your eyes. You can trust Yah, but he still wants you to have your eyes open. He's not asking for blind faith. He's asking you to trust him and know what he's capable of. Okay. User, thank you so much, hon. I see you. Okay. So he's asking you to have your eyes open. Look at what you're doing. If you say that you trust him, are your actions supporting you trust him? Or are they really saying, I mean, I think he can do it. Will he do it? I don't know. Maybe not. It's really your indecisiveness. Okay. So I want to show you about that. Holy Spirit revelation serve. When you understand who the Holy Spirit is and you understand how it works, it gives you a revelation that the greatest in the kingdom of God are those who serve. So are you serving others? Are you serving the Father? Or are you only serving yourself? And how is that going? Hey, Stephen, thank you so much for following. I see you. And thanks for also liking, and for those that are sharing the live. Okay, examine yourself. It's a whole, I love First John. If you've never read First John in the New Testament, read it. Really good. It says, examine yourself to see if you are in the faith. Some of us say we believe, some of us say we know God, some of us say a lot of stuff. But when you look at our lives, when you examine yourself, are you really that? Or is that your perceived notion? Remember, I say you can be your own God. So you can say, oh, this is the God I want to serve, which is you, or which is what you like, which is what makes you comfortable. But this is also why some of your areas in your life still fall short, because you're not willing to see things from his eyes. You're not willing to go beyond your comfort zone. And so you are stifling yourself. Okay. So if you're at a point where you're like, I don't know what else to do, good place to be in. The Father loves when we are weak, because he can be what? Made strong. Okay. So if you want the Father to show up mighty in your life and perform miracles and wonders and all these things, you have to give him room to do it. One of my books, I say you got to make room for miracles, because you do. Miracles don't just happen. Miracles are worked, meaning you don't work for them. You work them. You work through them. Okay. Because the Bible says obedience is greater than sacrifice. So as you are being obedient and staying on track, the Father can add super to your natural events. But if you are not doing the right thing, then mercy and grace needs to follow you, because it's like, yeah, he ain't doing it right. Yeah, she's not doing it right. But Lord, mercy. Lord, put mercy on them. They gonna get it. They gonna get it. But how often do you want somebody to be like, yeah, they gonna get it. Just go ahead and give it to them. I mean, who wants that? Don't you want somebody to be like, man, they are doing it. Go ahead, man, give them a whole basket. I love how they do it. They gonna sell all of this, or they gonna do all of this. They gonna use all their talents. Let me give them some more. He says the ones that was what? Were unfaithful with one, they tried to bury it. He took what they had and gave it to ones that are producing. Don't you want to be a producer? Don't you want to be one the Father can call your name and be like Elijah and be like, or sorry, Isaiah. Isaiah says, send me, Father. I want to go. Don't you want to be that one? Don't you want to be the person that you ain't even got to raise your hand? They call on you because they know you're dependable. They know you'll do it. And they're like, you know what? I know who to call. You might say, well, man, how do I grow my business? Be reliable, be consistent, be a person who they know what expectations they have of you, because they'll call you without you ever having to call them. People call me to come to events. Hey, Crystal, can you come to our event? It's going to be October this or next year this or that. You want to be a vendor? You want to? I don't have to. I don't have to call them. I don't have to call them. And so the better you deliver your message, you deliver your product, you stay true to who you are, people get to know you, they're going to say, I know who to call. Oh, you need a poet? Oh, let me call so-and-so. Oh, you need a hairstylist? Oh, I know somebody that can work miracles, because I remember one time, you see, your talents, your gifts will make room for you. So it's okay to ride your lane. King David, when he went into the kingdom, he didn't go in there being king. He went in there playing a harp because he was good at it. Some of you are going to walk into doors because of other talents you have. Some of you are going to come in as a speaker and leave out as a manager or with a job. Some of you are going to come in as a client, and you're going to end as a consultant, because they're like, yo, whatever it is you just said, I don't know what you're talking about. I know we need it. I'm going to hire you. Okay. Sometimes you go in with no job and leave out with a whole career. Okay. I know one of my clients, she is in the financial circuit, and she was dealing with like insurance, and she made a life for herself under a very well-known brand. And then ultimately she wanted to go back to school to get her master's. Do you know, when she went back to school to get her master's, she thought to add a branch to the company, but the company said, whoa, what you're trying to do is outside of our wheelhouse, but we love what you're doing, so we're going to make you our business partner instead. The woman had no intentions of starting a business. It was dropped in her lap. Okay. But that was because she was obedient to go get the education, and big companies don't move as fast as small ones. So if there was a change in the market, she can adjust. They don't take a minute. You know what I'm saying? They are a franchise. She's not. But guess what? She got franchise money, franchise access for a new startup business, because she was willing to go out of her comfort zone, still work and go get degrees, still work, build her company. And that turned into a whole business. She ain't the only one. I'm telling y'all my story. Y'all ready? It's in one of my books. Look for the drip and expect the outpour. I'm gonna tell you about it in a minute. But real quick, Footprints, thank you so much for following. I see you. I thank you. I'm gonna let y'all know we're at 7,700 likes. We're not playing. We're close to 10,000. Our goal is 10,000 right now. So thank you all for helping me do that. Steven, thank you for liking. I see many of you going up. Thank you all for over here as well. I know you guys are with me, and I appreciate you. So yes. So what happened was, so she ended up walking into a business, and I did too. When I was in tech school, I went to Orlando Tech. So if y'all are in Florida, shout out to Florida. I was there for a minute. I got a lot of degrees and a lot of stuff in Florida. I do like it for that. Not a place I want to live, but I love to visit. Okay. When I was there, I went to Orlando Tech. At Orlando Tech, I was in a television production program. In this program, I was learning how to produce, how to write, ultimately the content I was already creating. How many of you know, if you're already doing it and you want to level up, the best way to do it is to go get more education in what you're already doing. Okay, Andre, thank you so much for following. Okay, so I went to tech school to learn how to better use cameras, how to better do stuff that I was already doing, because I already had an AA degree when I went to tech school. Okay, and so when I was in tech school, they taught me how to better what I already knew how to do. Then the Golf Channel calls the school. Golf Channel says, hey, we're looking for interns or for potentially people to work with us, for us. Do you have people to recommend? Let me be clear, y'all. I was 18 years old. I was a female, the only one. Okay. Production has been very saturated with men. Before, nowadays it's getting perhaps better, but around the time I was in school, it was very men forward. Okay, it was only 2 women in the program, me and another, and she ended up dropping out, so it was just me. And so when they were submitting my name and 4 other guys' names who were all older than me, some even with wives and children, I was like, oh Lord, I don't know if they're going to pick me, because I'm young, I am a woman, and I don't necessarily fit the expectations that some people may have for what it looks like to be in this industry. But do you know, I went to my interview and I was Crystal. I delivered who I was, what I was capable of, and I was very aware of what I did not know, but what I was willing to learn. Okay. And so what they ended up doing, they ended up hiring all three of us. Okay. They hired me and the other two guys as well. I ended up working for the creative services department. One of the guys ended up working in the tape area, and the other guy never even showed up for his first day. And that was the guy with a wife and children. So you would have thought he would have showed up out of the other three, the other two of us, but he didn't. So the one of my he was my friend too, the other one I worked in the tape area. So I'm like, okay, Lord, how is this going to work? So they end up hiring us for this intern. It was a paid intern. So we went from making like $125 for working a few days a week. I didn't even work every day. But guess what? While I was working this job, I was getting credit back at school. So for every hour I was on this job, I was getting paid and I was getting school credit. So I was making two incomes, or making two. I mean, I don't like to use that term, killing two birds with one stone, but I was definitely knocking out two goals at the same time. Okay. Resume workshop. Thank you so much for following, hon. Okay. And so while this was happening, I was like, whoa, okay, Lord, this is good. Can it get any better? How many of y'all know when life is good, you question, Lord, what's next? Jonathan, thank you for following. Okay. So what ends up happening is I worked that job. I worked there for about 90 days. I outworked. In 90 days, I outlasted the other two guys. And I was the only one that was still there. So then they asked me, they say, hey, do you want to work more? I said, of course I do. So then I went from 125 a week to 575 a week. Lifestyle, thank you so much for following. Okay. And when I went to 575 a week, I was like, oh, I'm doing great. I'm barely, I'm 18 years old, still living my best life. I'm in tech school, but I'm getting credit to work for the Golf Channel, and I don't even have to go to school, but to check in with my professor once a week to let him know how things are going. But the Golf Channel is calling him to tell him how great I'm doing. So he's like, "You're good." So I'm just like, "Whoa, this is great." And then after being with the program, or being an intern, I graduate with my certificate in television production. I got honors for doing that as well. And then the company turns around and say, hey, you actually either have to become an employee of ours or start your own business. This is how I started my production business, was because I was told by the Golf Channel I had to either incorporate or work as an employee. And at this time, I was very all about trying to figure this thing out. People say I look like Jada, but I'm not. But she's gorgeous. Okay. And so ultimately, I end up incorporating my business. I had to figure that out because nobody told me. I didn't have a mom or somebody or even a consultant like I am now to others to show me what to do. So I figured it out myself. I got incorporated. I gave them my documentation, and it was like, you're good. I was like, that was easy, or easier than I thought it was going to be. And now they're paying my company to work with the Golf Channel. I was like, this is great. Then I got my first $10,000 deal working at the Ritz-Carlton for Schneider Electric, one of the international electric companies. They run wiring all around the world for different buildings and structures. They hired a 18-year-old girl to run a 3-day conference. I ran a crew of 5 people. I hired my teacher, okay, and I paid everybody on the line. And I still walked away with a couple of thousand for myself. It felt incredible. And that is what comes through me when I feel like, oh my Lord, I could fail. But I'm like, Lord, if you did it before, how many of y'all heard that song by Todd Tribbett? If you did it before, you can do it again. He says, I'm the same God always. I never change. In the Old Testament to the New Testament, he is the same God. Okay, so whatever he's done for someone else, he can do it for you. But I dare say he does new things every day. He don't even have to do it the same way. And he won't, because you're not them. Hey, Garbage, I appreciate you for following. Thanks for being on the live. Okay, Smart too. Don, I see you too. Thanks for commenting. So yeah, so I learned early on the value of myself, but for some of us, we haven't done that yet. So a lot of us, we may be chasing things that don't give us heaven, that don't let us feel like we got it. We hold on to things because this is what our comfort zone is. We might be used to poverty or used to lack or used to disappointment, and we don't know how to break that. Bobby, how you doing? Thanks for looking at the book as well. Okay, so if that has been you, I want to encourage you. This book right here will help you to shift your mindset. All right, that's one of the things I had to do. I had to realize if I want to be my own boss, what kind of responsibility it was. because it's not just about being your own boss. It's about more than that. And thanks also for following her and liking the live. Okay, so examine yourself is where we left off. You are not hopeless. I know sometimes people will say, man, he hopeless. He ain't gonna never change. He ain't gonna never get it right. Don't listen to those people. Okay, I know it can be hard because that could be your mom, your spouse, your dad, people you love and care about could tell you sometimes the most discouraging news. Okay, but I want to definitely show you how to stay focused and how to make things make sense for you. Okay. If you want to change your life, you have to focus your life on becoming better. I know it's real easy to look at gloom and doom, especially when that's all you know. All right. At one point in my life, that felt like all I knew too. I was like, Lord, how am I going to be my own boss? I don't even know how to work for somebody yet. I'm 18, but I worked for SeaWorld for 2 years. I started when I was before I went into my junior year, I bought my car cash with the money I made over the summer. So when you are training yourself on how to see money, I was going to college when I was in 11th grade, and I had my associate's degree by the time I finished high school because I understood the value of education. I knew if I could get it for free, because guess what? I don't want to pay for everything. Some of us, we're paying for everything. We're paying for our mistakes. We're paying for other people's mistakes. We're paying for, you know what I'm saying, what we did not know, what people did not tell us. I want to encourage you. Vicarious living is a great thing, especially if you are willing and able to learn from people's mistakes. Don't feel like you got to go through hell all the time to get the lesson, because the devil has no friends. I know for some of us, we're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to just do this because it looks good, feels good, sounds good. But let me let you know, they will drop you. The devil will use anybody and everybody and anything to what? Kill, steal, and destroy. He will kill your relationships, kill your hope, kill your faith, kill your dreams. Steal them. If he can't kill them, he will make you bury your talents. If he can't steal them, if he can't steal your voice, guess what? When you do stuff, smoke, drink, all this stuff, it steals essence of you away. Isn't that stealing? Isn't that loss? But when you don't value what you have or who you are, then you don't see how that is even an issue. But trust me, the enemy knows that his plan is to steal, kill, and what? Destroy. He wants to destroy relationships for you. He wants you to have nowhere to go but to him, so that you lean on what's hurting you. How many of y'all know people in abusive relationships, they lean more on the person abusing them than everybody trying to deliver them? They're more afraid, or they're more attached. They care more about their survival and their ability to be happy than their own happiness. That is sacrifice the Father does not require. Okay. Sneaky Link, how you doing? Thanks for following. Okay. All right. So I want to encourage you. And then ultimately, that's the end of the book. So this book is not a long book, but I'm telling you, the fire is in the book. It's not about all the pages that are in the book. Okay. This book is $15.99, in case you're wondering. If you want the physical copy, that's what it is. All right. If you want the digital copy, you can pick it up from my profile. It is $10 if you want the digital book, but you do have to go to my profile on TikTok and hit the link over here. You can click the link or access it that way, and you can grab this book. Okay, so let me walk you through how this book reads, because I know you might be curious, right? Of all the chapters you've heard, if there's a title or one of the sections you want to hear more about, let me know. But I'm just going to pull out some sections. Okay, the Lord wants it all, because fresh and salt water cannot flow out of the same vessel, which comes from James 3:4. If you are neither hot nor cold, you are good for nothing, because you are lukewarm, and the Lord will spit you out, he writes in Revelation 3:16. Okay, I want to show you how scriptures work together. Okay, you might say, well, I don't know who God is. I've never experienced them. That's okay. If you get books like these will help you to mature in the spirit. Okay, it's meant to help you to grow. It's meant to help you to understand and to digest what maybe you don't know how to do. A lot of people don't read their Bible because they don't know how to use it or make it practical. One of the things I believe in is making the Father simple, because he is simple. He's not complicated. I think we complicate him because we're like, oh, that's too simple. Oh, he really wants more than that. Oh, trust me, that it's more to that. It is. The Father wants you to listen to him. But how many of us will not be obedient to save our own lives? How many of us have children where you can tell them, go look under the sink and go grab the brush? And they'll come back to you and say, I don't see it. You're like, I know it's under the sink because I put it there. Oh, well, I looked, and they did. They opened the door and they looked, but they didn't touch one thing under the sink to find it, to search it. The Bible says to search me, right? Find me, Seek me while I still may be found. Seeking is not just looking. It's not just open your eyes and going, nope, nope, nothing's out there. Seeking is moving stuff. It's switching things around. It's being willing to rearrange your life to see if Yah or God or what you're looking for is really there or if it's not. Okay? If you're not really seeking, you won't find nothing. And my children prove it to me all the time. It's like, I move one thing and I'm like, there's the brush. They're like, oh, I didn't see it. No, you didn't seek it. That's why you didn't see it. And for some of us, if we don't know it's out there, we don't seek it because we don't know to look for it. So we don't look for it. We don't seek it. We don't search it out because nothing told us we should have it. We deserve it. So we just abandon it. All right. Which means the enemy stole it from you. Okay. Uncle Joe, how you doing? Thank you so much for following. And Rabbi, welcome to the live and thank you. Be sure to continue to share those hearts. Our goal is to get to 10,000. We're just under 9,000. So definitely, guys, if y'all can help me to get there, it helps more people to find it. Share it as well. I thank you also for clicking on the link to order the book over here. I appreciate you. So let's keep going. Choose whom you will serve and don't try and have religion, a form of godliness and no power. It yields you nothing but vainglory. And that's in 2 Timothy 3:5. The Lord is great and jealous. He will share his glory with no one. So the moment we step out from the Lord's protection, don't be surprised if we are quickly wounded, fall, or die because we lost our protection. The Lord is our protector, our provider, friend, and the creator of the universe. I can think of no other more worthy of my awe and yours than the Father, the one that created you. Okay. So if he wants something from you, I encourage you to do that. Another thing in this one is put no other gods before me. I know we heard it as a 10 commandment, but I want you to understand this too. Don't allow the devil to deceive you that choosing to do what you want to do is not demonic. I know one of the rules of Satanism is to do what you will. Okay. Do whatever you want. All right. That's not the way of the Lord. Robert, thank you for checking out this book. I appreciate you. Real quick, if you are ordering this book, they do come signed by me. I will be putting them in the mail today. I'm doing a mail run after the live. Okay. So be sure to submit your orders, meaning go ahead and complete the cart. That way I'll know that you want to grab this book and I'll put it in the mail for you. Okay. So don't think it's not demonic. It is. And what makes it so is because you have removed the Almighty from being your God and placed yourself there. You have made your own idol, and the idol is you. You worship, bow down to yourself, and put your thoughts above his thoughts. Man's thoughts are inferior to the all-powerful Yahweh. When you choose to worship yourself and be like the Most High, you are acting like your father who wanted to be like the Most High and also failed in Isaiah 14:14. Y'all know the one that thought he was going to ascend to the throne of the Most High, and we saw how he fell from the sky like lightning, right? Right? Okay, let me help you. The devil can't teach you how to win, only how to lose, and big, because that is what he has done. He lost it all, and his number one goal is to ensure you lose it too. You might say, why do these people just hate me? Why are people this? Why is racism out here? Why is that? Because these are things created by the enemy, and the enemy is not flesh and blood. It's not people. It's spirits, principalities, and systems of darkness that don't like you because you have something they cannot have. Mercy and grace. Okay. You have the ability to turn away from your sins. Fallen angels can't do it. I want to let y'all know real quick. I got to celebrate y'all because I want to let y'all know y'all are doing great. All right. I want to thank you, Angela. I see you as well, babe. Thank you so much. I want to let y'all know on TikTok, we did 10,000. Okay. We're at 10,000 hearts. I thank you. Let's see if we can double it before I get off the live. I would love to. All right. So continue to share, continue to throw up the hearts. Let me know that you guys are loving the live and let other people know as well. There are spiritual dangers. Say that, Bobby. There are spiritual dangers that if we are not aware of, it does not make us basically hidden from it. Okay, just because you don't know a thing doesn't mean you don't pay for it. You can be riding in the car with somebody else who ride the bank, but guess what? You're an accomplice. You're going to go to jail too. You might say, well, I didn't even do nothing. You should have known better. Well, how was I supposed to know better? Didn't your mama tell you not to get in the car with that person? Didn't your daddy tell you to make your friends? See, we assume that the person going to tell us, hey, look, I'm not good for you. But the devil has no friends. So as soon as they get the chance, they will throw you under the bus, and you've seen them do it to somebody else. But you said, they ain't going to do that to me. You said, I know he cheated on his ex, but he ain't gonna do that to me. You said, I know she left him for me, but she ain't gonna leave me for him. We run deeper. See, these are the things that we believe, right? Because we want them so bad. But I want to encourage you, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, these are the things that cause our downfall. These are the things that cost us in the long run. So when we start realizing, oh my goodness, maybe I should do this differently, I want to encourage you, okay? Let's do this. The Lord is the creator and he brings life. When you allow your flesh to be weak, it is when the Lord is made strong. And that's 2 Corinthians 12:9. Your spirit man should guide, rule, and keep your flesh. The two are friends and will always challenge each other because they serve two different kingdoms. The flesh will look for the high, the ecstasy, and the spirit of a believer will long to please the Lord. Okay. So the Bible says what? Live by faith. Okay. It says be spirit led. Okay. But when we are allowing our own natural lust and things like that to rule our members, this is how we lose what? Self-control. Okay. This could be you being angry. This could be you having road rage. Losing self-control isn't just, sexual. It's across the board. Nobody can tell you nothing because you already feel like you know everything. Nothing someone's telling you is honesty. So you're just you're untalkable. No one wants to talk to you. So they just say, you know what? I'm not even going to waste my breath. Have y'all had people just do you like this? Are people doing you like this? I'm telling you, that's what they're saying. I'm not even going to go there. And then they don't. See, mature people realize arguing with a fool is wasting your time. And when you get to a point where you value your time, you're not going to waste it on people that don't deserve it. The Bible says, don't throw your pearls before swine. And I don't mean to call people pigs. That's just what the words say. So if you are throwing your stuff, and the reason why I believe he used the comparison of the pig, let's bring that down too, right? Because pigs will eat anything. They will take anything. They will do a lot of stuff. And then, they function different. Okay. So you got to look at the makeup of some people. Some people will take any and everything you give them and they'll use it against you. Because they'll turn it around and kill you. That's what the verse says. They'll eat up what you give them and turn around and kill you afterwards. So if that's the case, that means they always had the intention of doing you dirty. Okay, they're just waiting for opportunity. Another thing too is like a snake in the grass. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have heard that. Okay, so that's a little bit about this book. If you guys enjoyed this conversation so far about this book, you're gonna love the book. All right. So grab the book. If you want to get the digital copy, again, they are available, but you have to go to my profile. I can show you that in case you're on TikTok. 1 second. So if you are on TikTok, you do want to go to my profile. If you're over here, just use the link inside the comments or on the screen, and it will allow you to ultimately be able to get this book. Okay. So the digital copy again is $10 and the physical copy is $15.99. Okay. So if you are on TikTok, I want to show you this real quick. Okay, so if you're on TikTok, you're going to go to my profile. When you are here, you're just going to hit the link right there. When you hit the link, it'll ask you this. When you get here, you're going to hit the top one, and the top one, you're going to hit the link right there. When you do that, it's going to hit you there. And when you do, it's going to take you here. When you're here, you're just going to find the title. Okay, so these are all the categories that are available on my site in case you're over here. You can do the same thing. You can check out the site. All the books are there. And when you're there, you can get the digital copies for any of my books, except for the guides. I don't have the guides as digital copies because I feel like having the physical books for something like that makes more sense than digital copies. But I can definitely tell you that the other books as digital copies are just as powerful. For the journals, I do recommend having the physical books so you can write in them. Okay. Yes. So those were my first 2 books. Now, after these 2 books, I started, Lord, y'all challenging my mind on which ones I did next. So I want to say I did the lesson series next. So I'm going to show you the lesson series. Now, so far, I have 2 books out of, let me tell y'all, let me see, hold on, let me put this here real quick. So the lesson series, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to create a series that will build personal development in teens, preteens, and children. Working with churches, working as a volunteer with like junior achievement, I realized, sometimes it's not that there are not organizations that can do this, but sometimes they don't necessarily have the books to coincide with what they're doing. So they have to constantly keep coming up with new stuff. Big, thank you so much for following. Let me move that a little bit. There you go. There's your bell. Thank you. Plus, thank you so much for liking the live. Kobe, thank you for liking the live. Okay. So this is a personal development series that you can do with your youth yourself. Okay. I encourage you to do this. And I do because I had children do this with me and they were not doing it with their parents, having these conversations. So there were stuff being missed. Like one of the families, their child was in a gang and they had no idea at school. Okay. So there is stuff that's happening that they're not telling you. And if you want to know, have these conversations. Okay. There are sections in this book for them to write in their answers. There are things for them to do. There are recaps that helps to recap what happened in the chapter for them, for you. Let's say you may not have time to read all of it. It's okay. Read the recaps at the end of the chapter so you know kind of what your children are going through, what they're learning, what they're being exposed to. Okay. Hi, Plus. How you doing? All right. So shalom, shalom. Hey, Yahweh. Let me give you I see you. How you doing? Okay. So in book 1, which is the one that is pinned, this is the one that will show you the series. I'm Moto. Thank you so much for following. Thank you, Yahweh. All hugs and love, brother and sister in Christ. I appreciate you. Yes. So let me tell you about this series. All right. So it goes like this. The lesson series first installment aims to cultivate personal development and exploration in teenagers, allowing them to better understand themselves, acquire the fundamentals of independence, and reduce the likelihood of becoming a bully. The guide emphasizes that teenagers are natural born leaders and can choose their path in life. Self-confidence is key to managing oneself, and a confident teenager is less likely to resort to bullying behaviors towards others. This informative and entertaining read provides practical guidance on how teenagers can steer their lives in the right direction. It's an indispensable resource for teenagers seeking to improve their lives. Be sure to read it, pass the lesson, and get involved in the course. And it's just basically some more details on the back. Okay. Daryl, how you doing? Thanks so much for being a fan. I appreciate you. All right, let me give you a bell, babe. All right. Thank you for the many of you that are in the Rules Club. I do appreciate you. Let me go ahead and celebrate you real quick. Let me pin that for you. Let me see, where is that? Let me see, how do I do that? Oh, yeah, hold on. I don't know how to add it. Okay, but I do see it, Daryl. So thank you so very much. And plus, I see also that you follow me, and I appreciate you as well. Let me move my bell because it's getting stuck. There it goes. Okay. So in this one, I want to go over the chapters because the chapters actually make up all the books in the series. Okay. So I'm only on book 2, but going into next year, my goal is to, pray for me, y'all, is to finish at least half of this series. Thank you so much, Astronaut. My goal is to accomplish at least finishing half the series. Okay. I believe there's 10 books in the series. So here we go. This is what is covered in book 1, which is also an overview of the whole series. So blended families is chapter 1. Who are you is 2. Being comfortable in your own skin. Create the you want to be, right? Sometimes we realize we're not who we want to be. In fact, we want to be something better, something different, something else. Okay. Frame of mind. What is your frame of mind? What are the basics? This deals with hygiene, how you were genetically made. I know I never thought that the basics would be so necessary now, because now a lot of things are subject to interpretation instead of literal physical makeup and genetics. So I want to definitely help, because there are just certain things women are going to go through that men don't, or certain things men go through that women don't go through. And that's just genetics. So it's talked about ultimately in this chapter. Rise Above the Bully, Leadership 101, and No One is Perfect. These are the chapters ultimately that make up the books that are in the series. Blended Families is completed, and Who Are You will be completed next year. Okay, so a little bit about how this works. There is a foreword inside the book, and I can read some of this. I probably won't read it all. for the sake of time. Okay. But again, I tell you too, if you're writing your book, do forwards. If you're writing a book for teenagers and young people, keep them in mind with your chapter headers. Okay. So for each of the chapter headers in this book, I have characters, and the next one it's owls, and the third one it'll be something else. Okay. So keep it spicy, keep it fun. And I don't mean spicy in a negative way, but I mean like not boring. Okay. Obviously, if you have bland chicken, it's just bland. No one really wants to eat it. Okay. So here it goes. We live in a world where every young girl and boy has the choice to decide who he or she is and will become. The lesson program was created to encourage the boys and girls of today to press toward the mark and not allow limitations, fears, and reservations to cloud their vision, cementing their feet in failure or poor progress. Okay? Our youth are smart, intelligent, and innovative and need possibilities that will encourage their growth. Our children are capable of leading Fortune 500 markets with buying power, developing industries, and being one of the largest sales forces in America. This group can talk their parents, grandparents, and loved ones into purchasing phones, gaming systems, and entertainment that are equivalent to the cost of a monthly car payment, rent payment, or utility bill. Okay, would y'all agree? Would y'all say y'all children are really good? I mean, you can look at Christmas spending. Most of the Christmas spending we do is because these are things our children asked us for. It's not stuff they need. Most of it is the stuff we know they want. Okay. So if they are capable of influencing you and influencing their friends and influencing those around them to buy, to sell, and to do things, why can't you use that same energy to encourage them to take their business seriously, to find themselves, to develop themselves, to make choices, better choices? Okay. So that's what I want to encourage you to do and then to do with this series. All right. This group must be catered to, if not for the good nature of man, society, and community, but also because they support the U.S. economy. Every company must understand that this generation will secure the future or be a part of the reason they will report record lows. Have y'all noticed some companies that have been in business for decades are now going under? I mean, Joann's Fabrics, gone like crazy. Like some of these stores you didn't think would go out of business are going out of business because the younger people are not connecting with their stores. Why would people go and buy fabric when they can just go buy clothes? That's how a lot of people feel. A lot of these children are not cooking at home, so a lot of them still buy fast food and takeout. But a lot of them are becoming more conscious in how they're eating, so they're not really wanting to eat junk food. They're wanting to eat stuff that has substance. So as we start to follow the move of how these children are being cultivated, we're also seeing what our future is going to look like because they are going to be the future. So if you don't like the way things are going, then invest in them. Whether it's youth group at church, whether it's your children, whether it's the neighbors, your nieces and nephews, invest in them because you're investing in everything around you. Okay. Thank you so much. Control Alt Delete. I like that. I love them. One of my favorite keys sometimes. Okay. So yes, young person, you have a right and should enforce your ability to make a difference in this world. You don't have to sing, dance, or act to make an impact in the business landscape. You can cook, create technology, speak, market, promote, teach, create a business, get involved in government, and so much more. Use your age to your benefit and trust in your natural talents. Greatness is in you, and this program is set up to draw it out. Okay. Control Alt Delete. Thank you so much for following as well, and I see you. Also, Daryl, thank you so much for adding this book to your cart. I appreciate you. Okay, so here we go. You are on the right track to have picked up. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I skipped a paragraph. Hold on. What can you expect from the lesson? The lesson book series is a tool for the parent, guardian, mentor, and a guide for the student. The lesson program encourages youth to get engaged with mentors, their peers, activities through social media, appearing at biweekly events, attending events, and participating in training and career day follow-alongs or internships. One thing about this series, it is meant to develop your children now. Vanna, thank you so much for looking at this book. I appreciate you. As you add it to your cart, be sure to also check out, I will be doing a mail run today. This book does come signed, okay? So yes, I want to Let them know you don't have to wait until you're 25 to figure out how to run your business. The truth is, people that start businesses at 25 started learning business when they were 12, 15, 16, 18. Okay. So if we are able to cultivate our children younger to be able to understand who they are and not rob them of being a child or a teenager or growing, right? That's not the point. I'm not trying to rush them into society or working, because Lord knows once that started, it don't seem like it don't stop. So allow them to enjoy their infancy, but show them how they can use their infancy to their good. I think it's ironic that most people that make the most money off children are not children. They're not children singers. Why not? Why are children not singing to children? But why are adult songs, even perverted adult songs, playing at school events, playing at children events? I think that should change. I think children should be able to have a greater influence on what is inspiring to them. And I don't think it should be adult content. So what I'm really trying to do is protect children's environments. I'm trying to show children you can make money and you should be taking the lion's share and not everybody else. Okay. Danny, thank you so much for following. Okay. Hugh, thank you also for sharing the live. I appreciate you. Okay. So if you agree with what I'm saying, I want you to support this series. I want you to definitely grab a copy, whether it's the physical book, a digital book. If you want the digital book, go to my profile, click on the link. You can get a digital book for $7. Okay. With tax is $7.50. All right. So the physical book, they do come signed. I will ship them out today. All right. Because it's so time. It's so time. A lot of children are doing stuff under the table, even stuff they have no business doing, because they need money or they want it. They want the shoes their mama won't buy. They want this, they want that. And the world is seducing them with the stuff that they want. Oh, you really want this purse? All you gotta do is be my girlfriend. All you gotta do is just go run this for me. All you gotta do it. You ain't even gotta sell drugs. I just need you to deliver a bag for me. So now they're going into stuff trying to make the money that they honestly, if we taught them, they wouldn't have to do that to go get it. They wouldn't have to sell their physical essence. They wouldn't have to put themselves in danger to make $20, $50, $100, because we can show them how to use their minds instead. We can show them that there's more to them than what they physically walk around with. But if they don't ever see nothing, they're going to assume this is the only way I can make money until I'm 18, until now, until then. And then a lot of children that could go to college in high school, they're so out there, they're not focused long enough to do that, to take advantage of free education. So I want to show them, do it now. Do it now. Don't wait till your children are so old and it's hard for you to talk to them, because now they don't take you seriously. So while you still have an authority, use your authority to show them the way they're supposed to go. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go, so when they get older, they won't depart from it. It doesn't mean they're not going to make mistakes. What it means is they're going to know the right way. You know, my mama told me, my daddy told me, so-and-so showed me. I remember when I had a mentor and they said, and here I am going against it, right? All right. So I want to encourage you. That's what I want to show you. That's what I want to show our youth, is they don't have to wait to make it. You can make it now. There are kids that are 18, 20, finishing degrees. Okay. That ain't everybody. That wasn't me. I finished when I was in 12th grade. So that technically was me. And I started my first business when I was 18. So I didn't wait until I was 25 to figure it out. I figured it out now because I started so young, because I made mistakes. I was making $15,000 a year, $20,000 a year. You can't live off that for real long, but you can if you're 16 and you're living with your mom and you don't have any bills yet. So if we allow them to figure out stuff early without robbing them of their infancy, then you will see. Now the music industry is the most open it's ever been. You don't have to worry about getting robbed so much, being used so much like you've done in previous years, because now you can publish your own music. You can publish to iTunes and CD Baby and all of these distribution platforms. You don't even need to go to a major record label anymore. You can do it yourself. Now, the question is, how big do you want to get? How much do you want to work? How many shows are you going to be able to do? How many people are you going to get to rally and build up your business or build up the message? And then as you start to have those answers, you start to formulate a business plan. Okay. But we don't always know how to ask the questions or to answer them. So we just don't mess with it. We'll just say, well, that's too big for me. Let me go the traditional route. But the traditional route is dried up a long time ago. So you're really going into an old dinosaur. So Look at the benefits around you. And your children know stuff. They know social media. They know computers. They know how to do this stuff. Use allow them to use what they're using for everything else for their own benefit. Okay. So yeah, so in this, so each of these paragraphs or chapters, excuse me, each chapter has a couple of, a handful of pages, probably about, well, the whole book is probably actually, I could tell you, it is 115 pages. So the first book is 115 pages. Okay. But it's going to give you the whole series in bite size, right? It's like the appetizer. And then you're going to get the rest of the books to get all of the meat. All right. Thank you so much, hon. I see you. Thank you so very much. And thanks for liking the live. I see you so much. All right. And following. You did a lot of stuff in one time. Okay. So if this can bless you, I want you to grab this book, go through it with your teenager. Even if you don't, it's so simple to read. They can do it on their own. Blessings to you too, love. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you for tapping in and being a part of the Royalty Club or the Rose Club. Okay. All right. So yeah, there's more to this, but again, reading a lot of this is a little tricky. But I want to show you book 2 because book 2 is the one that follows this one. Okay. So I told you with each of these chapters, I had to develop it more because in one book, I can only explain so much before the book started to shift direction. So I was like, okay, Lord, I'm not going to go into all the details, but I'm going to give enough so that if you only got the first book, you'll be able to know how the rest of the series works. Okay. So this is book 2. Book 2 is about blended families. Okay. Back in the day, let me put this back. So back in the day, blended families used to mean you got married and, because you got married, now your families are interconnected. But blended families now takes on a whole nother meaning. And I would say it goes beyond that. Okay. So here's the back of the book. Because again, if you have been on this live with me, you'll know that the back of your book should give people the expectation of what is inside the book. Okay. So when I read the back, you're going to have a real good idea of what's going on in it. Just so y'all know, we're at 12,000 likes over here on TikTok. Thank y'all so much for the hearts, the shares, the likes, and the follows. Continue to do that. That'll allow other people to join in the room and to know what all we're working on. And that is finding what we're missing. Okay. So there are certain things you're like, man, I really need something for so-and-so. Here you go. Okay, here's a series that can help you. All right. If you are a youth teacher, a teacher at school, or a person development, maybe you do junior achievement. There's a lot of things that a lot of young people need and could see in us. And the question is, can we deliver? Okay. This is meant to go with nonprofits. So if you have a nonprofit catering to teenagers and preteens, grab this book, use the lessons to help you with your lessons. Okay. That's how I also created is to work with organizations, not to be its own organization. That's a lot of work. And it's a lot of things. So if I'm called to make the curriculum or help you with curriculum, I don't want to, lose my understanding of what the Father has me doing, trying to do what you're doing. Okay. It doesn't make sense. We want to better support you. Okay. God bless you, my sister. I love your hair. Thank you so much, Elder Reginald. Thank you for tapping in as well. Okay, so here it is. This book makes no assumption that there is such a thing as a normal family. All families are unique and put together in different ways. There is the family you were born into and the one you create. Family members are like a team. They all come together, bringing their talents and love to help you win in life. To appreciate your family, birth order, and extended family, explore your family ties by reading this easy-to-read book. We talk about parents, step, natural, and adoption, single, siblings, friends, teachers, and even frenemies. Let's get started. Please don't skip this book series. Get it, read it, pass the lesson, and remember to participate in the lesson book coaching and podcast series. Okay. So it will have a podcast and all those other good stuff. We started it. I want to pick it back up in 2026, but I definitely want more children to run it. I don't want it to be another thing that I'm running. I'm running a lot of stuff now. And Lord knows I don't want to start something that I don't finish. Okay. So if you do have young people that are interested in joining and being part of the podcast that I want to do with this series, please DM me or message me and let me know. And I would love to have them to co-host or be special guests on the show. Kata is one of the hosts. Christopher was one at one point, but I know he had to transition. So we're looking for his replacement. So there is a lot that's going on. So if that interests you, let me know. Okay. So yeah, so in this book, here's the introduction. Okay. So as you know, it's mentioned in a chapter in book one, but this is a whole book. This book is longer than the first book. It's 100 and actually it's about the same. It's 120 pages as well. Okay, so it goes like this. We all have a history, and I dare say a rich one, meaning deep, eventful, powerful, influential, and a spiritual connection that exists within the family. There are families we are born into and ones we make, those we are engrafted into, and some we may feel isolated from. No matter your age, race, or ethnicity, we are all born craving family. Everyone is born with the expectation that the family we arrive in will love, care, and nurture the best parts of our nature. We believe our mother, father, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and siblings will be there for us in our toughest times of need. The only emotion stronger than our need for family to survive is finding out our family is not as perfect as we imagined, and I dare say hoped. Okay. Our society has painted a picture some decades ago of what a perfect family is supposed to look like. The truth is, the Leave It to Beaver days are over. Okay. If y'all don't know who Leave It to Beaver is, that just goes to show you how far away those days are gone. Okay. In fact, those days are so far behind us, this generation had no idea who Beaver even is. And no, it is not a real beaver. And I said, I smiled. So a lot of people, like my children, don't know who Beaver is either. Okay, this installment in the lesson series was written to encourage all readers that families come in different sizes, combinations, and disposition. No family is greater than the next, but healthier habits can be pointed out. There is always a way of doing something than a better way. Stronger families choose a better way instead of simply accepting the hand they were dealt. Anyone and everyone is capable of changing their surroundings. If a man with no limbs could be mobile, work, marry, and have children, and make a family in a world where many would have said otherwise, he is proof you can do it too. I know I saw the man speak live, which is kind of funny. He's in this book, and I did see him speak live. It is incredible. Okay, what I want to show you is no matter where you're coming from, you can still win. If you have no hands, no arms, no legs, it's all right. You can still win. Okay. If you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, if you didn't grow up with both of your parents, it's all right. You can still win. I'm living proof. My mom and my dad did not stay married. In fact, they never got married. They didn't stay together. They tried to get married again. That failed 2, 3 other times. So yeah. So if you got family with mess, that's all right. Me too. The good news is we all can make it no matter where we come from. Okay. Where was I? Yep. A stronger family choose a better way instead of simply accepting the hand that they were dealt. Anyone and everyone is capable of changing their surroundings. If a man with no limb, yep, I read this already. So, yep, so hold on one second. All things are possible to them who believe. Enjoy your reading and learn. And enjoy your reading. And to learn more about the lesson series and coaching program, you can visit all the stuff down at the below. But I'm not going to repeat that because it's not necessary. Okay. So here are the chapters. In case you're wondering, okay, what am I going to get out of this? What I'm going to learn? It's the introduction, which I just read, parenting. So under the parenting section, we're going to talk about birth parents, step parents, adoption, and legal guardian. Okay. So if your children or someone you know and love and care about is living with a legal guardian, adoption, step parents, or birth parents, and they're struggling, or if they're doing great, this is a really good book for them to have. Okay. It helps to have the conversation. If you have children that don't like their step parents or they treat them funny, not because they deserve it, but because they don't know how to balance their emotions for their natural parents and their step parents, I want you to grab this book. It's going to help that conversation. Okay. Sometimes when you're the person sharing the information, although it's the same, people, your children, our teenagers won't accept it. But when they hear the same thing from someone else, something else in a different way, it's easier for them to digest. Okay. So if this can help them, if this can help you, I want to encourage you, grab this book. Okay. I know a lot of people say I look like Solange, but I'm not. All right. So the next section is siblings. Okay. So in this one, I'm dealing with birth order. Okay. There are some behaviors, some responsibilities that fall on children based on their birth order. And it also can create discomfort, uneasiness, unfairness, and all kinds of stuff. Grand Rising, how you doing, hon? Okay. So I want to encourage you, if you are the eldest, there is something for you. If you have middle children, this is something for them. If you have the youngest, as y'all know, a lot of the babies get away with murder. People will say, so how do you balance it out? How do you, as a parent, learn to balance out maybe how you treat your children so that none of them feel left out or they feel more included? Okay. And then ultimately we get to step siblings. Okay. It is sometimes a big thing. Sometimes it's not a big thing at all. But how do you process the love you have, sometimes for your natural born siblings and your step siblings? Some people struggle. Some people don't know the balance. Some people don't know how to have a conversation. Sometimes you don't know how to connect. You don't know if they want to. So it's kind of like strangers, especially if you didn't grow up in the same household. Okay. So if you have children that are going through this, I want you to grab this book for sure. Okay. The next one is extended family. All right. So if you have extended family, these are going to be uncles, aunts, and grandparents. They're a chapter. Schools, friends, and frenemies. They're a chapter. Friends are not always the easiest thing for some children to have or to maintain. And I would say for any of them, especially for children. I mean, children can be sometimes the meanest, but the most honest, but the flakiest, friends at times. So I want to encourage you, if you have a high schooler that doesn't seem to keep friends, I want to encourage them that it doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. Okay. I know with my daughter, she'll get some friends and then next thing you know, they ain't friends no more. And Finesse, thank you so much for following me. I see you too. Okay. So I want to encourage you, if you're going through that with your teenager or preteen, how can you deal with it? How can you kind of like be a support for them as they're figuring out how to find their friends? Okay. And then ultimately, leaders, pastors, and teachers, they also made this book, this guide, what it is. Okay. So if you need to have those conversations, they're in here. Now, then I have what we call things we all need to know. I wanted to make sure I included this because these are things teenagers, young people are going through, and they need to know some things about it. What love is. Okay, some of them are in relationships, right? Some of them are dealing with if they're loved by their parents or grandparents, or if someone is absent. Okay, so these are some of the emotions and realities. Some people's lives are far beyond a children's age or a teenager, even. They're dealing with adult problems. Okay, and so I wanted to provide a way for them to understand some of the things they're going through. Okay, so love, hurt, no. Okay, no means no. I want to make sure children understand the power of their voice. 333, thank you so much for following. I appreciate you. Okay, so if you have children that don't know the power of their voice, please have them read this. They need to understand no means no. I know sometimes they could have said no. Things happen when they say no, but they got to understand the power of no, and then what they must do if people don't respect their no. Okay. If you're lost, if you feel lost in the shuffle, people are moving around, people are leaving, transitioning, dying, things happen. I want to encourage, children that just feel lost. They don't feel like they belong. They feel lost in school, like just genuinely lost. Okay. Abuse is happening. There's an abuse hotline in the book. If they are, or you fear, or you even think, that someone may be going through abuse, maybe they don't know how to tell you. So having this book can help them to have that conversation with people that can help them. Okay. Friends could buy these books and give them to other friends. All right. Because we just don't want children to struggle, to suffer. Okay. So if there is someone or your child does that could use this book, I encourage them to gift it to people that need it. Okay. Derek, thank you so much for following. All right. So starting over, moving is really tough. Okay. Whether you're moving at the beginning of a school year, the middle, the end, just in general, a new state, a new country, a new school district, all of these things are taxing. You might say, well, I don't understand why they're so stressed out. They're not paying bills. I understand that. They do too. However, their world is their world, and their world is very real. And it's a sad day when you see children making choices about ending their lives and stuff because they do feel real feelings. Okay. So indulge them, try to slow down to understand them. It might not mean your answer changes. We can't not move or not take a job because our children are disappointed or want something else. I mean, I understand that, but get them to understand that too. Okay. Divorce and separation, that's happening. Families are separating. Things are changing. For some people, they don't like change, and changings like that scare them. and they don't want to say they're scared. So instead, they lash out, they get combative, they start becoming non-responsive. A lot of things happen. So I wanted to write that to help children to process their feelings, have those conversations, and be able to be honest with someone. Okay. I pray it's their parents. I pray it's the people that can hear them and value what they have to say. But if not, an auntie, an uncle, somebody, you want to make sure they have a safe space to talk to someone. Okay. Not loved or wanted. Again, this is one of those emotions that people feel. People can feel not loved or unwanted for several reasons, right? If people they love is not there, if people they want to be there is not there, absent parents is the last chapter in the book. And that deals with if you have parents in jail, prison, maybe the divorce sent them to live in their own home, maybe they're unreachable, maybe, they chose a life of, addiction, stuff like that. These are things that our children are going through. And they need to hear something that will be able to lift them higher, let them know that it wasn't because of them, if they're not a failure, they weren't a mistake, they're not a product of something negative because one of their parents is struggling personally. So we want to help children to separate their value from the value of their parents, or if they feel the lack thereof. Okay. So if this book can help someone you love and care about, I encourage you to grab the book. Sincerely, it is a growth book. Okay. And there are lines in the book. I know I mentioned that, but just in case you're wondering, what does it look like? This is the layout. These are the areas where children can write in these books. Sometimes what people can't say audibly, they can write. Okay. So I encourage you to encourage them to use the writing sections, especially if they need it. Okay. So that's the lesson. Oh, let me put this back on the shelf. Okay. Yeah. So that'll step you through the lesson. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to ask, how many of you on the live are looking at publishing your story or your books? Is anybody on the live a fellow writer, or you want to write or publish your story? Throw up some hearts, let me know, or definitely put it in the comments. If this is something that you're wanting to do, I would love to hear and know it. I've put out or published 53 books that are available. 54, my 54th book is at the printer now, so it should be getting approved likely today. And I gotta say, I am beyond grateful, for all that I have been able to accomplish with my journey. I mean, from children's books to adult books, it's been great. Michael, hey, how you doing? Thank you so much. So one of the things that I want to show you are some children's books. Now, at first, when I started writing, children's books are something that I did later in the game. I did a lot of adult books before I got to children's books. But when I got to children's books, I loved it. And I realized, man, I need more than a few. RJ, how you doing? Thank you for following. Michael, thank you as well. And I know there was one more. Let me make sure. Papa, how you doing, hon? Thank you so much for following as well. Thank you all for sharing. I appreciate you. So I want to share some of the books that I ended up writing for children that do very well. One of the ones, I think I put this one out. I did put this one out this year. I know I did, because I remember Jacob being at my desk when I was finishing it. And then some of the other ones I finished last year. But this one is called Why You Got an F. And it's one of those books that I think when I was younger, I wish I had this book, because I did not, so when I was in, first grade, I struggled with reading. Like, I was not doing well. And I thought it was because I was dumb, right? When we can't do stuff, it's easier to say, oh, I'm dumb, than for it to be figure out why you're not winning or figure out why you're struggling with reading. And so that was me. And so when I was able to write and publish a book that would help others to learn how they got an F, because sometimes we don't know. We're like, oh, I got an F because I'm stupid. But no, that's the wrong answer. Okay. And I show you in this book how these three incredible children got an F. All right. One of the reasons, well, before I do that, what do I like to do? I love to read the back copy of my books, because this will show you what to expect. Okay. I can't tell you what's all in the book just from the cover, but the cover should help. Okay. So we recognize this. If you old school, you recognize seeing that red F at the top of your paper. New school, y'all on point system. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4s. So if you got a 1, All right, you know it's bad. It's not good. Meaning it's saying you're not reaching benchmark. Okay, JB, thank you so much for following. I see you. All right. So if you have people that are struggling, I invite you to share this book with them. Okay. It goes, Angel has two incredible friends, Israel and Nikki, at school. She loves talking and telling them jokes. The problem is that all three of them have not been studying, listening, and doing their work. Now their parents are telling them to do what they should have done already, the work to get a good grade. I know sometimes there are children that don't have to work that hard to get good grades, but for most of us, if we don't work, we're not getting it. Okay, if we don't try, it's not going to work. I remember when I used to try to do spelling tests in first grade, like I was saying, I was struggling. I was like, Lord, I can't read. This is too hard. All the stuff I had an excuse for. Mr. Packer, thank you so much for following. I see you. I was telling my mom, I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. I'm dumb. But I had an old school mom. And my mama said, Crystal, if you don't learn to read, I'm gonna whoop you behind. I said, wait a minute. But other kids, they get to fail at this. Why do I have to be forced to read? Why can't I just not read? Like, why is it so necessary? So she told me, basically what I think a lot of us need to hear, the importance of reading. And she said, there was a time where we couldn't even read. And now we can read. And you gonna tell me you can't read and it's too hard? It can't be that hard. And people who were sneaking to do it was willing to die to learn how to read. And here you are want to learn to read for free. I said, oh Lord, what was that supposed to mean? Because at the time I was first grade. I didn't understand what she was saying. But now that I'm older, now that I understand the value of reading, which took me a minute. When I was learning, I was like learning out of fear. I ain't gonna lie. I learned how to read too, by the way. And I didn't get held back in first grade because they wanted to hold me back because I couldn't read. But I learned how to do it. And I was able to stay in my grade and all things were well. But what I realized, I had to do more work. I had to do more work because I struggled with phonics. I had to do more work because there was other things I would rather be doing. Like the characters in this book. She'd rather be doing something than learning something. He'd rather be playing games than what the teacher wanted him to do, and she'd rather be running. Okay. The truth is, our children will make time for what they like to do. And for many of them, school is not it. Okay. If it's a subject that stretches them, they probably ain't going to try. They're probably going to be okay with telling you, yeah, it's not for me. It might not be. But the truth is, you can't choose to fail. Okay. Hey, New Orleans, how you doing, Paige? Thank you so much for jumping in the comments. Nice to see you. Thanks also for the person that's checking out this book. Okay. So these are the three characters, right? All right. So she has a gifted imagination. Some of our children are gifted. Okay. Some of them, sometimes it's called dyslexia. Sometimes people call it ADHD or all of these things, right? But sometimes you just have an active imagination and it's hard for you to focus. Okay. Sometimes you just don't want to focus. Okay. Another character is the one at the bottom. She's an incredible athlete. The only problem is she is not, she also has a IEP. Okay. So if you have a child that has an IEP and they don't want people to know, they maybe in like special ed classes or something like that, and they don't want people to know. I remember one person, when the bell rang, they were so afraid of people. Matter of fact, no, it wasn't. It was a fire alarm. The fire alarm was literally going off, but the child, he was a young boy, he did not want everyone in the school to realize he was going to special ed classes. So he stayed in the classroom instead of leaving when the fire alarm was going off. Do you know if someone did not go and get this little boy, he was willing to die in the fire than to be embarrassed in front of the school because he needed an IEP, because he needed special attention, because he learned differently? So it's really dangerous. You might say, well, how are 10-year-olds doing, creating these acts? Why are young people cutting themselves? Why are some people or little children committing suicide and just crazy stuff? Because they are not comfortable in their own skin, because they have not learned that their differences doesn't have to be the bedrock to why they feel isolated, unwanted, dumb, or less than. Okay. So I wrote this book for children that do struggle. Okay. And not all their struggles is their fault. He don't want to wear glasses. For some of us, we're in the classroom struggling to see. So we're getting bad grades because we can't see the board, but we ain't wearing our glasses though. So we just going to keep on wincing. And guess what? Your eyes are getting worse. Okay. A Love, how you doing? Thanks so much for following. I appreciate you. Thanks also for the likes. I see them. We're at 12,000 likes here on TikTok. Continue to definitely throw up the hearts and share the file. More people will hear it and see about it. Thank you guys over here as well. 6 people have scanned different or pushed different links to grab books. I appreciate you. Be sure to add the books to your cart and check out. I will be doing a book run after the live. Okay. So I'll make sure your books go out today. All right. Yes. So all 3 of them have something different, and I believe they represent a lot of us, a lot of our children, a lot of how we think, and the reason why we don't do as well. He needs glasses, but he's playing video games all night. Okay. So it doesn't mean that they can't do stuff. Not by far. It just means that what they value, they make time for. Okay. So if you want your children to value what they need, value themselves, the teachers that can point it out and say, hey, look, aren't you supposed to be wearing your glasses? Hey, don't you have an IEP? Let me help you. Let me help you learn this in your way, because maybe I need to draw a diagram because you understand better in pictures. And so the teacher is willing to accommodate. Okay. Not everybody has teachers that are willing or able to slow down. Sometimes it's not that teachers don't want to do it, they don't have time to. So as parents, we have to step in and see why our children are getting bad grades. It's not just because they're dumb. It's not just because of what we may think. It may be because of something they're hiding. Okay. So get involved in their lives and see why they are not making it. One of the things on the back of the book, you notice the parents got involved just as much as the teacher. Okay. So your children's education does need you. All right. So yeah, so if this can help you, I believe it's an incredible book. It has sold in Germany. So I'm really excited about that one. This one is always really good. This one sells out a lot at events. It's called Because I'm a Gentleman. And Because I'm a Gentleman is a book that was, it came out of my son inviting me to a mother-son dance. And at this dance, he did all of this stuff. Like before we went, he was like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to open your door. And I'm just like, you don't have to do all these things. I can get the door. I can do that. He says, no, no, mom. It's because I have to because I'm a gentleman. I was like, that's a good title for a book. I'm going to put that in a book. Hey, Jason. And so when I started to write this book, I wanted to see how I could make this book applicable to others. Okay. When you're wanting to write your books, it's important to keep your audience in mind. It's not about you divulging every single detail that might have happened, but it's about you conveying a message that is a universal message that other people who don't know you can grab a hold of and see themselves in. Okay. So I want to encourage you, if you know young boys, especially that are doing this, they are little gentlemen, they are caring for others, they are respecting their mothers and doing things for their sisters, and or they're not, and you want them to start implementing these behaviors, I want to encourage you to grab this book for them. Okay. It's a really good book for the holidays, but in general, a lot of the live events I've been going to, people love this book. Okay. One of the good things that I love about this book is how I was able to cartoon myself and my son. Okay. So this is one of the examples where you can ultimately use AI, capabilities to cartoon yourself to help make your books more realistic and more real. I do not use AI to write my books. I don't need AI to help me write. I love writing myself. So none of the writing in the book is AI, but I do take my pictures and cartoon them. Okay. So you can cartoon yourselves and make your books and make them relevant to other people. That's the good news. All right. So the more you learn how to use technology and the tools you need to make things happen, the better. Okay. So there's a whole lot definitely in the book, and it's really cute. It ultimately ends with him having an incredible day. He would have passed out in the car. Y'all know kids, they be so tired, they can pass out in cars. But as soon as he got home, he ended up laying in the bed, chilling like a little gentleman, ready to get on to something else he was going to do when he came up from his nap. So yeah, so I encourage you, find books that inspire you, find books that can, inspire your children and all that good stuff. And that's why I love writing children's books. Now, in the lives, what kind of books are you guys writing? I know some of you are authors or enthusiasts. I want to share with you my resource for how I ultimately write anything easily. In case you are in the phase where you're looking at writing or publishing books. One of the things, let me see, where is it? Um, so let's see where this is. The book that ultimately I use to write anything easily is this one. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this is the book that I use to write anything. Your book is your testimony. That's what's up. Let me see over here. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Where is this? Now, the last thing I want to definitely. Let me do that. Okay, here it goes. Okay, yeah. So this is the guide. This is the guide that I use to write anything easily. All right. So if you're looking to tell your life story, if you want to write a children's book, if you want to just get published, if you want to understand the steps, if you're debating on getting a publisher or how to edit or how to do these things, this is where you want to start. Okay. One second. I have to call him back after the live. Okay. So Jason, thank you for adding this book to your cart. Okay. So I encourage you, if you are ready to get this thing going, use the, I see you also. Thank you very much. So grab this book. I'm going to give you a free consultation with me. Okay. The consultation is $156 normally. All right. But when you buy the guide, I'm going to give it to you free because I want to show you how to use this. Okay. So that you'll be like, oh, I can do it myself. If that's what you want to do. Oh, I know I want to get a publisher. This is the type of publisher I want. And you'll know who to go look for. Okay. So what I don't want you to do or get is taken advantage of. Okay. So I want to leave you with a very clear roadmap. All right. This book is hardback. Okay. It is in color because I believe for stuff you want to last, you build it to last. Okay. All of my clients that I work with as a publisher, ghostwriter, and editor, they have a copy of this book because it helps you to hold me accountable. It allows them to know where we're going. So they know where we're at, to where we're going, and how we're going to move forward, and just things make sense. Okay. So here's what's in the book. Okay. The first thing we're going to do in module 1 is we're going to talk about what's your why. Okay. Somebody's calling me from Detroit. All right, I'm gonna call them back though. Chapter 2, what's your purpose anyway? Okay, you want to know what your why is, you want to know what your purpose is, because both of those things help you to sell your books. Okay, next thing, module 2, let's make a plan. Okay, you want to, oh, I know who that is. I'm gonna call it back. You have to make a plan. Okay, your plan is your book outline. All of my books start with the outline. Okay. So if you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do first? What do I need to plan on? How do I get started? You need a book outline. But before you make your outline, ask your why. Okay. Because if you don't know why you're doing this, you are going to miss your audience. I kid you not. You can write something great, but if people don't know why you're doing it, then you'll miss them. Lady BP, thank you so much for following. I also saw that someone was also looking at the book. Thank you so much. Again, I signed these and I will put them in the mail to you. So you will get tracking details after the live. Okay. Just be sure to check out. Yeah. Saf, how you doing, babe? I know that you also followed as well. So thank you. Okay. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. All right. So after you make your book outline, module 3, we're going to ready, set, write. Okay. We're going to start writing. I know it's weird, but it's true. Before you start writing, you want to plan, know where you're going, because this makes writing easy. Okay. A reason why a lot of us struggle to write our books is because we're not organized. We're just hoping to hit something. Okay. You don't want to hope to hit something because sometimes you can hit nothing. Okay. So I don't want that to be it. I want you to hit what you intend. Mr. White, thank you so much for following. Okay. So if you want to tell your life story, but you want to make your story applicable to other people, why? What's your purpose? You need to figure that out before you start your book outline. If you've already wrote the book, still look at how you can reverse engineer your book to make sure your points are there so you can sell your book if that's the goal. All right. Not everybody's goal is to sell books. Some people's goal is to have it printed so they can put it on their shelf. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. In module 3, we're also going to do how can I add a cherry on top? Okay. Let's say you write your story, but you realize your story is not long enough. You don't have enough content. Your outline only has 3 bullets. What do I do? I'm going to show you what to do. You're going to fill in the questions you didn't answer answer. You're going to consider questions you never answered, because when you don't ask a question, you can't answer it, which means that information is not in the book. Okay, so you got to know why you're writing, what's the purpose of your writing, because then you'll be able to answer what questions are there and what's missing. Okay, if you don't see it, then that is also why you grab the book, because I'm going to show you how to dive deeper into your writing. Okay, in module 4, so I cooked up the kitchen sink. Now what? Now what is editing? Okay, so once you've done all you can, all you need to, you got at least 50 typed pages on a computer, or you have probably 100 handwritten pages if you're writing by hand, or you spoke your book and you have at least 10 chapters that you audio recorded that you'll transcribe. Okay, now it's time to edit what you have wrote, what you have spoke. Okay, you want to make sure that everything you're putting in this book is relevant. All right, I know, yes, I can tell you all about my past, future, and present, but if it is not relating to carrying you through my book, then it's just extra information. And I dare say sometimes we repeat the same things over and over again. They bore people because they're like, didn't she say this already in chapter 3? Why do they keep saying their dad died? My dad died. My dad died. Every chapter, my dad died. We know that. So you don't want to assume that your audience isn't paying attention. If you baby them too much, it could be annoying. Okay, so you want to be aware of where you can maybe cut it out. Cut that part out. Make it more relevant. Maybe you're not saying my dad died, but maybe you're saying how his death impacted you. Okay, so switching the direction helps to make your book flow better. All right, so those are one of the things that an editor can help you do. This is how I help a lot of my clients through editing their book. Danita, how you doing, hon? Thanks for following the live. I see you. All right, module 5, we're going to design the package and put a bow on it. This is dealing with creating your cover. Okay, all of my covers, all of my covers I've created. Okay, my first cover I did not. I hired a designer, but for the rest of them, and for a lot of them, I do for my off. I give suggestions, create covers for free for my clients, and they can choose to use it, take it, get inspired, hire someone else. Really doesn't matter. My whole goal is for you to have something that is good, and I even dare say great. Okay, so if you do need help or you have questions about creating your own cover, how do you get ideas? Because this isn't a picture of me. Okay, if you look at most of my books, they are not my face. Okay, and it's on purpose, because you don't have to see my face on every one of my books to know it's mine. In fact, it being mine is less important to me than you needing and wanting what's in the book. So I make that the priority. I pick pictures that convey what I want you to feel. She's relaxed in this picture. Her hands behind her head. She's not worried. She's not stressed. Okay. So when I say write anything easily, she looks like this process is easy. So when you are creating your covers, think through your images, think through what can convey what you want, and not always put your face on it. Because if people don't know you, then they'll just say, who's that? Why are they on the cover? Or is this emotions they're giving me or something like that? So sometimes people can miss the importance of what you have in the book if they don't recognize or find a connection with your picture. Okay, so some people put their pictures on the back so that they can have the best of both worlds. Okay, so consider that. All right. Module 6. So the writing is stellar. What's next? Get published. I show you the steps or the stuff you need to have done to get published. Where do you go? How to get an ISBN, how to copyright, the Library of Congress. All of that is talked about in module 6. And in 7, I am ready to rock and roll, but before you go. Okay. So this is just basically saying you've gotten everything done, but what should you know? How should you look at marketing or moving forward, or what do you do next with your book? And then I give you some free resources in module. It says resources and gifts. And then the last chapter is about the author, which is myself. Okay. Danita, thank you so much for adding this product to your cart. Okay. There's only, I think, like 4 or 5 of them in my shop. So if you do want to get this book, go ahead and put it in your cart. I know 2 of them are already in people's carts. So be sure to check out as well, because I believe they don't remove the book until you check out. Okay. But yes, so woo, excuse me. All right. So real quick, when you order the book, I will sign it for you, and I will give you a $156 consultation for free. Okay. Hi, Jim. I want you to know how to use it. Okay. Thank you, Danita. I appreciate you. All right. Big West, thank you so much also for joining us. I see you as well. And so I want to encourage you, if you are wanting to essentially write and publish your book, I'm going to show you how to make it easy. All right. I also want to show you the business. All right. So if you are wanting to turn this into a business, put up some hearts, put in the comments. Let me know you want this to be a business, because I want to show you something that's at the very beginning of this book. Okay. In the introduction, I want to make sure all of the readers know what to expect with this business, because it is. I've sold over 1,000 books this year alone. Okay. But the business says this is the typical average numbers for an indie author to sell 500 copies lifetime is how many most people will sell. Okay. And that's maxing you out lifetime. Now, I've done more than that or near that in 1 year with some of my books. Some of my books I've sold over 250 copies. Okay. So can you do 500 copies? Yes, you can. Okay. Yes, you can. But the key is, are you in position to meet your intended audience? Okay. Did you do the work with your why statement and your purpose? Is the intended audience on the back of the cover? Is it making sense? Okay. And if it's not, then you need to fix this first. Okay. Choosing Empowerment, thank you so much for following me. Also for adding this product to your cart. I want to let you know there's 5 of these in TikTok. So there's 3 of them that I see that are in carts. So just make sure you check out. Okay. And I will sign them and put them in the mail to you. All right. So I want to make sure you understand, when you are trying to figure this thing out, remember it's a business. Okay. If you've never ran a business, you don't know how it works, I want to introduce you to the toe in this book, but I'm going to show you the matching pair to this book. Okay. This book is about how to write and publish. It's not about how to have a business. Okay. But I am going to step you through the expectation of this business so you know what to get into. I want to show you how easy this book reads. Okay. I know a lot of people say, get my guide. And when you hear guide, you hear, oh my goodness, do I need a college degree to understand it? The answer is no. Okay. I write with no AI. So the same way I'm talking to you now is the same way I lay it down in the book. Okay. Good for you, Merce. I see he made a website for an author in his city. That's what's up. So if you have thought about writing a book or an ebook and aren't sure where to start, you are reading the best book series to begin your authorship journey to write anything easily. With this installment, we will help you plan and think through the details of writing or coordinating the services to write, edit, and publish your book easily. Okay. Within these pages, you will begin with the end in mind, writing a book to captivate your reader and solve a problem he or she has, or create a piece that will be sure to get their creativity and imagination going. The goal of this book is twofold. The first is to help authors who desire to write a book about their life experiences to have a roadmap for how to help others and write an impactful book that accomplishes their goals. Okay. The second is to help any author learn the planning, writing, editing, and publishing process easily. Okay, so if you're wanting to tell your life story, definitely a must have. Or if you are wanting to understand the process from start to finish so you know what to do, this is a must have. Okay, Merck, thank you also for following. I see you and I appreciate you. Okay, as a published author, okay, I'm gonna show y'all how good this book is. This is funny. If you're reading this book, I'm going to tell y'all the copyright year. I believe I did this in 2024, but let me make sure. So your copyright page is important because it's going to tell you the date in which you published something. If you have a lot of books, you ain't going to remember these dates, but it'll be in the book. So I published this in 2024. Okay. I want to say it was probably around February or March, somewhere in the springtime. I believe I published this book. Do y'all know how many books I had done when I published this last year, 2024? Let me tell you. As a published author of over 20 books, many ghostwriting projects, and numerous editing assignments, I have seen a few constant mistakes and challenges facing authors. When I wrote my first book, I never thought I would be coaching and helping others achieve the goal of publishing their stories for personal or professional reasons. Let me let you know, I am now at 54 published books. This is 2025. This was in 2024. Last year in the spring, I had a handful of books, over 20. I probably had 20 24 books published. I now have 54. So I've done nearly double the books in a year and a half than I did since I started publishing in 2016, because I put this, I do this. Okay. So when people say, well, where do you get your ideas from? How do you write so fast? How do you write so easily? This is what I'm doing. Okay. And I'm teaching other people to do it. I teach other publishers how to do this. I am a coach that coaches authors and publishers on how to do the stuff in this book. Okay. I can show you how to use it. Getting the guide, step one, I'm going to give you the consultation for free because I'm going to show you how to use it. So if you want to work with me with services, you can, but you don't have to. You can do it yourself and I'll make sure you know how to use it. Okay. So if you have it in your cart, I want to encourage you, be sure to check out with it. Okay. Jicky, how you doing? Thank you so much for following the live. All right. Thank y'all for the hearts. I appreciate you and I see you. As people asked for my help, I knew I had to master my technique to serve my friends. Yes, my friends reached out for help. And the next thing I knew, I was bumping into people at the grocery store who would ask, hey, can you help my friend write and publish their book? As people asked for my help, I knew I had to master my technique to serve my friends. As I began planning, writing, editing, and publishing books, I made mistakes, and you will too. I want to be very clear. No matter how many times you read your book, no matter how perfect you think it will be and it must be, it won't be. It won't be. You're not dead yet. Okay. So your story won't be all that there is to you. Accept it and let it be. When I was doing my first book, I didn't know where I wanted it to begin, how I wanted to end it, because I was like, Lord, I'm still alive. I don't really want to talk about all of my childhood. So I didn't. Okay. You don't have to. You don't have to take a person through every single second of your life, what you was thinking, how you was thinking, especially if it gets away from your why statement. You know how many books I have that talk about my life? My life. Embrace Your Crown series, book 1 is definitely about my life. Look for the drip and expect the outpour, about my life. When I did the book Catherine, my first book, was about my life. But guess what? None of them repeat the same things about my life. There were certain things I left out of book 1, I put in book 2. There are certain things I didn't put in book 1 or 2. That's all of book 3. Okay. So I wrote one book that showed my business journey, which is look for the drip and expect the outpour. But how many of y'all know while I was building my company to try to get it to sell and to get over 6 figures and all that, I had to still live life. I still went through a divorce. I still had more children. So that was also part of the struggle. Hi, Pete. How you doing from VA? Okay. Quentin, thank you so much for following as well. I see you. I appreciate you. Okay. So I was still going through life. Life still happens even when you're building something. Okay. But don't allow that to distract you or to make you feel you can't do this. You can. If there's a will, there's a way. That's what they say, right? AP Grant, how you doing? Thanks so much for following. I appreciate you. And I see you. Quentin, thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining my Royals community. This is where Royals, I believe whatever the Father birthed you with when you were born, it's a talent. And he's more than able to nurture, cultivate it, and push you in the right direction. So allow this live and the many lives to come to bless you and to lift you up. Just a heart check-in. We're at 13,000 likes or hearts right now. Let's see how close, if we can get to 20,000, that will be the goal. I know when we started, it was 1,000 and 5, then 10. We made those goals. So now we're going to shoot for 20,000. If y'all can help me get there, please continue to do the hearts, share, and follow me if you haven't as well. You can hit the pin up to the left and do that. Trevor, how you doing, hon? Thank you so much. Hugs and love. I appreciate you. Over here, I want to thank y'all too for hanging out with me. I see you. Make sure you're putting in comments. I would love to dialogue with you as well. Okay. All right. Stephen, you have been so faithful. I see you definitely doing a lot of the likes. I appreciate you. And I just want to make sure I acknowledge you. All right. Good afternoon, right? Cool, time be flying on this thing right here. Okay. So I had to realize I had to do something, and you will make mistakes. Your book don't have to be perfect. I know we're tempted to use AI because we're like, at least you'll have no errors, but it may be dry. Okay. So dry. It's like turkey nobody wants to eat. Okay. Nobody wants dry turkey. Is it cooked? You won't die? Yes. Is it good? No, sometimes people are okay with your mistakes as long as they can feel your vibe. I tell people all the time, hey, look, I don't write with AI. It may not have every single grammatical thing right, but it's going to deliver on quality every time. Okay. And for a lot of us, most of us, it's enough. How many people are out here making movies with their phones? Kai Baby became a millionaire off a cell phone. Okay. But we're sitting up here talking about, I need $100,000 camera. I need to make it look like a motion picture. No, you need to put out a picture and then make it better as you go. Okay. So be patient with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. If there are errors, you can always make revisions. Okay. Drizzle, thank you so much for following. I see you and thank you. Okay, so breathe, allow yourself to breathe. What I want to say to you is the very same message I needed to hear. Learn quickly. Okay, you put out your first book, it didn't do everything you want. Learn from your mistakes, see how you can do it better, see what you need to change, see if you may need help. Okay, sometimes we think our best is enough, and sometimes honestly, it's not. And we know it. We're like, man, I know this ain't that good, but at least I got it out. And that's good. You're right. Celebrate your wins. But then you want to get real. You want to say, okay, Lord, if I really want to get this into Barnes and Nobles, what do I need to do? Okay. Then do the work. Okay. When I help people to publish inside this book, I show you how to hit Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and 44,000 outlets all around the world. You will not only be in Amazon in the United States, but in Australia, Canada, Germany, Poland. You can sell all around the world, okay? If you know how to publish. I know some clients that are mine that publish with other publishers and they only got to Amazon. And I'm like, I can get you on more outlets, but we'll have to what? Send you back through distribution through this way, which is a better way, and you'll be everywhere. So if you get pulled temporarily from Amazon US for some reason, you'll still be on Amazon Australia. You'll still be on Barnes and Nobles. So if people Google your book, they'll have more options. Okay. Definitely, if they see you, they can buy from you, but you don't want it to only be on you. Okay. I am Ed. How you doing? Thank you so much for following. I see you and appreciate you. Okay. So I want to encourage you, get to as many platforms as possible. This is what a lot of people gave their lives for, distribution. You know, most of these traditionally published authors from back in the day didn't get $1 per book. The publisher made all that money. Okay. So when you see indie authors charging $20 a book, $15 a book, it's because they're having to recoup their money. Okay. It could cost you $1,500 to $2,000 to put out a book or more. Okay. If you have a ghostwriter, it could cost you 3,000, 3,800, 5,500. It could cost you 65 or 75 if you're doing a novel with 300 pages, okay? And you're not using AI. All right. So I want to show you so you understand what you're getting and the value of it. Also, unfortunately, if you may be getting scammed. Ernest, how you doing, hon? Thank you so very much. I want to let you know there are about 5 of these in the shops. Okay. So definitely add it to your cart and be sure to check out after the live. I will be submitting your orders or mailing them out today. Okay. You'll also get a free consultation with me valued at $156 for free. Okay. I want to make sure you know how to use it. Thank you so much for loving my hair. I love it too, y'all. All right. So thank you. I want to let y'all know this is a heart check-in. We're at 15,000 hearts. I want us to get to 20. If we can do that, if y'all can continue to help me do that, keep definitely hearting, sharing, and liking the live. I appreciate you, and your efforts are definitely being seen and acknowledged. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a shake because every 5,000 we've gotten a shake. So here's your shake, okay? Thank y'all so much. So we're doing this. All right. So keep doing that. Truth, thank you so much for following and sharing the live. I appreciate you. All right. So here we go. All right. So see your mistakes as growth opportunities and not discouragements. When your vision gets larger than your abilities, don't be afraid to ask for help. I wanted to keep going after completing my first book because it was a powerful feeling. All right, Stephen, I see you. Honestly, I don't see that I would ever stop writing and publishing books because I'm not. I have 185 titles already done. 54 of the books I've written, 2 more books I'm going to write before the end of the year, which is in the next week and a half. And then going into next year is going to be at least 30 books I'm going to complete. Okay. So I do this. I know how to use this book. And I'm going to show you how to use it, especially if you have it and I can give you that consultation. I'm going to show you how to make it easy. Okay.
Although there were some hard nights when things went terribly wrong, let me tell y'all, and I considered quitting out of frustration. You may want to quit because you're frustrated. I want you to breathe, okay? And I want you to allow me to help you, okay? As a bookworm myself, I definitely support your endeavors. Congratulations, sis. Thank you, Truth. I appreciate that. Trevor, that's dope. I see you and thank you, okay? So if you're wanting to do this journey, it can be done and you can win, okay? Naya, thank you so much for looking at the book, babe. I appreciate you. For those of you adding the book to your cart, just make sure you do check out so it officially removes it from the available inventory, okay? Because I have 5 in stock right now. All right, so here we go. Although there were some hard nights and I wanted to quit, let me tell you, and I considered quitting out of frustration, I discovered my love for writing and publishing by doing it and learning from my mistakes. Some of you are going to learn that you love publishing, you love writing, you love authoring, but it's going to take you to go through challenges. Hi from France. I sold some books in France. How you doing? This book is called Write Anything Easily. Okay, so it's pinned at the bottom of your screen. So if you want to grab this book, go ahead and hit the pin or click on the links in the comments and go ahead and order this book. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Just a real quick note, because I see my people in France. Audiobooks. I'm going to be coming out with audiobooks likely starting in 2026. Okay, so a lot of my books are all physical books. And then all of my books are digital books, but they're only on my website. So you do have to click my profile or click the link and go to there. And then you'll get all the digital copies. But on the stores, TikTok and stuff, they don't do digital copies. So I can't sell them here, but I do offer them. And then as far as audiobooks, I will be doing audiobooks starting next year. Okay. Mikey, thank you so very much for looking at this book. And for those of you adding it to your cart, I encourage you to also remember to check out so it removes the book from inventory, okay? And I will be shipping these books in an hour or two because I am doing a mail run, okay? Today I have a couple of orders I gotta send out and yeah, we'll get it done, okay? All right, here we go. My passion for writing began in high school and continued to flourish during my college years, where I pursued a bachelor's degree in English and complemented it with a writing minor. I never wanted to be a teacher in the traditional sense, but I've always loved to help people and teach others. Helping people is why I became an ordained chaplain, a minister, certified life coach, undergrad professor, video professional, and business owner. Okay, so I have taught editing essentials. I have taught English Comp 1 and 2. I have taught dissertation prep classes. So this book is not just a person that wrote a book that doesn't have the educational know-how. I have that too. Okay. I do have my doctorate degree. I am Dr. Crystal Lee, but I don't put that on my books. Okay. It's just Kaylee. All right. But I do have it. And so all of this, I am pumping through these books. Okay. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. I got my first check, my first $10,000 check from working my company when I was 18 years old. Okay. So I've been doing business. I've been doing writing. My bachelor's is in writing. My minor is in, my bachelor's is in English. My minor is in writing. Okay. My doctorate is in philosophy with an emphasis in theology, and my master's is in pastoral studies. I am an ordained chaplain, an international one with the United Nations, and I am also an ordained minister. So I can marry you. All right. So all of these things are tossed into my books. This is the stuff that's the value. So you might say, well, Crystal, there's a lot of books that do what you do or write what you write. What makes you stand out? Because I know my value that goes beyond writing a book. I know what comes behind my name. So when you see Kaylee, you don't know that I have a doctorate, but I do. So I'm putting that in the book. I'm adding the value. So these are the things that you are going to want to do with your books, because this will differentiate you from the pack. Okay. If you want to stand out, I am never intimidated to be around other authors. In fact, I buy other authors' books at author events because I believe what my gifts will make room for me. Whoever is meant to buy my books will, and whoever's meant to buy your books, they will. Me being next to your booth is not going to stop me from making my sales. It never has. It never will. Okay. I've sold over 1,000 books this year. And I went to events other authors were at. I went to events. I was the only author. People were selling food. And I know I made more money than they did.
So you might say, well, oh no, I don't. I mean, all I have is a book. I don't have clothes. It's all right. I go to events and I don't have clothes. I don't sell hats. I don't sell, stuff like that. I have to sell what I have. And I know what the value of my stuff is. And it's always a good feeling when someone bought your books and they come up to you and say, man, I bought your book at the Black Expo. Oh my gosh, my grandchildren love your book. Or, oh my goodness, I finished this book and girl, I'm going to read it again. Some of my readers, they come back and tell me they've read my books 3 times. So when people say, are your books really $15 or $20 or $30, $35? I say yes, and this is why. Because when you use my books, you're going to repeat this process in less than 90 days, and you're going to see how much you've grown. They don't know that I have these degrees and all that. But the point is, if the book works, some of the stuff we think matters doesn't matter so much. And so know where to put your emphasis, know how to use your authority in your space. Okay, we're gonna keep going on, right? Yes, it is possible to turn your love for people to serve in several different industries. As an author, I understand wanting to write a book for bucket list reasons, personal, professional, or company objectives. Furthermore, expressing creative ideas and writing a novel or children's book is sweeter than any reward. Another motivator many authors utilize in working with KLE Publishing is their desire to coach others and divulge concepts they learn and form from their readership. Lastly, books are not just coffee table props, but can help to grow your business and expand your brand. Okay? You're a consultant, a lawyer, whatever, a professional. Having a book is sometimes the way for people to get to know you and get in your presence. Okay. If you ordered this book, this is the least expensive way to get a consultation with me. If you call me through Google, which a lot of people do, okay, my business is on Google. It is incorporated. I do SEO. I do business services. I have all this stuff going on to help to establish my company. And in establishing these things, yes, people call me and they have no problem with doing the consultation. Okay. But when you buy the books and stuff like this in these atmospheres, it allows you to reach me for buying the book because I know you're going to know how to do it. So now if you want to work with me, it's completely your choice. Okay. So I want to let you know, if you have put this book in your cart, go ahead and make sure you check out so I can get it signed and get it shipped out to you today. Okay. Thank you for continuing to throw up the hearts. This is just a check-in. We're at nearly 17,000 likes. That means we only have 3,000 more likes to go. My goal for this live is 20,000 likes and we're almost there. Okay. So continue to share, continue to like, especially if you like what you're hearing. And this will allow other people to jump in the room and see what we're doing. All right. Okay, here we go. Let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, there are many reasons why people decide to write and publish a book. I'm here to help you explore that desire and show you how to make the experience as enjoyable, okay, as writing is for me now. Starting was difficult, but I learned some hacks that helped me to plan, strategize, write, edit, and publish a book with ease, okay? So I'm gonna show you my hacks so you're not gonna be ready to pull your hair out before the book is done. Okay. Payway, I see you. Thank you for liking. Steven, I see you as well. Thank y'all for lifting up the live. I see you. Okay. One of the things that I share in this book is what in the world are you going to be doing? Okay. So if you're like, okay, what's the process? Here's the process. All right. So again, you're going to, okay. So this is talking about Alone but Never Lonely Catherine. Remember I showed you this book at the beginning of the live? This book made I had to talk about this book because it's the first one. So I started off with the title, right? And then I ended up having to create the outline. Okay, you're going to do your outlines. I can help you create your outlines. If you're like, Crystal, I know I need that, but I don't know how to do it. The book is going to show you, or you can get services with me and I will do it with you or for you. Okay, then we're going to leave your outline. Then we're going to fill in the gaps, because when you're doing the outlines, there's always more you need to do in order to make it make sense. Okay, then you're going to ask for help if you're struggling. Okay, no problem. I see you, Stephen. Okay, so if you're struggling, you're going to definitely take inventory of where you're struggling and how you can be helped. Okay. Next, you're going to realize you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes in formatting. You're going to make mistakes in writing. You're going to leave certain things out. You're going to have grammar edits that you're going to have to do. Okay. Don't let that discourage you. Get it on paper. And then you're going to go through editing, which will help you to clean up the errors. Trevor, thank you so much for liking. I see you too. Okay. And then once you're done with that, you're going to have your finished written text. Okay. Now, formatting it and publishing it, distribution ultimately are all going to come after that. Okay. But I want to make sure that you definitely understand those concepts as much as possible. Okay. So if you have questions about this process, if this is something you want to do, I encourage you to grab the guide. Okay, so this book is teaching you how to write anything easily. It is not talking about Hebrew terms, okay? But anywho, so yeah, so if you want to write your book, I can definitely help you. Again, I have over 54 titles, okay? But I want to show you one of my latest collections before. No problem. I want to definitely talk about one of my latest collections before I go. It's A Call to Pray. Okay, so I'm going to definitely, let me see, where is it? So A Call to Pray right now has 5 books that are completed. Okay, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, 4, and 5. And by this week, volume 6 will also be completed. Okay, but for here, I'm going to share them one at a time just so you can see them. Okay. So in this series, one of the things or what led me to do this series, and I believe it's going to lead you, right? Some books you put out because it's your heart. Okay. Some books you put out because God told you to do it. Sometimes you write because you want other people to benefit from stuff you've learned from. And in this case, I wanted to put out this series because I wanted to give from my chaplain background, because I can't come to everyone's funerals. I can't, marry or bless everyone's situations, but I wanted to be able to definitely, send a spirit of love and encouragement. And so this series, I do see you as well. Okay. So I was led to do this series. Okay. So on this link over here, this one will show you all of the books. But the one that I'm talking about, I'm going to post now, which is this one. Okay. The best part about this book, hi, Trevor. Thank you, hon. Okay. So the best part about this book is you can get the first volume for free. Okay. If you're like Crystal, I know I need to be praying. I know I need to change my life. I know I'm working on it, but I don't really know how to do this prayer thing. Richard, thank you so much for liking the live as well. I want to encourage you. Prayer is a relationship. It's a connection with the Creator, God Almighty, Yahweh. And so I want to encourage you, if you don't know His voice, if you have not prayed in a spirit and in truth, I want you to touch and agree with the prayers in the book that can help you. Okay. In this series, there are 365 prayers. Okay. So it's a prayer for every day of the year, right? Every month, I had to break the series into 12 books because the installments are so long. They're 150 pages, 175, some of them 130, but none of them are under 100 pages. So just so you can see this, as you might say, wait, oh, here they are. All right. So in case you're like, oh, Crystal, why don't you just put them all in one book? Okay, this is 4 books. Okay, look at the width of this. This is only 4 of them. Okay, this is 4. All right. So when I got to this point, I was like, there's no way I can put all of this in one book. So I couldn't. I didn't. Star, how you doing? So my goal was when you buy one book from the series, I'm doing this right now because right now I just started this. I started the first one, I believe I got it out in June. I did the second and third one in October. No, I did the second one and the third one in November, and I did the 4th and 5th one. Wait, hold on. Lord, I'm doing these things so fast. 5 and 6 is December, 4 and 3 is November, and 2 is October. That's how it goes. All right, we getting there. Thank you so much, hon. I see you, T.O. Thank you so much for joining the club. I appreciate you. Okay, so when I started this, I was not sure of how I was going to get this series done, but I knew I had to. Okay, so I was going to finish this series in 2027. And thank you so much. But you know what? I was like, you know what, Father? One person ended up buying the whole collection. Okay. And I was like, oh, Lord, I don't know about y'all, but when people pre-order books, you don't want them to pre-order books and they're not going to get the books for 2 years. It's too much. It's too much. Okay. Don't be out here telling people my book is coming out soon and you know your book ain't coming out no time soon, like not in 90 days or less. Don't pre-order yet. Wait until you're 90 days or less out from finishing your book. Okay. So with my own rule, I'm like, all right, Lord, that means I gotta finish all of these books in 90 days. So by March of next year, I'm going to have all 12 of the books completed. Book 5 is done. It's about the same size as this one. Okay. Book 6, I'm finishing this week. So half the collection is going to extend to here. When you buy one book, any of the books I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to give you all 12, the digital copies, for free. Okay. When you do that between now and March, because you're helping me to publish all of these books, I have to pay for all of them up front. So that's what I was planning on doing. I was planning on putting out a book once a quarter, sell those books, and then put out the next one. But with someone committing to buy all 12, I was like, Lord, if you're going to send people to invest to buy all 12 books, let me invest in the series and put out all 12 books. So that's what I'm doing. All right. And I'm not stopping there. I'm going to translate this book into 5 languages. So it's going to be in English first, Portuguese, German, French, and what's the one? It's one more. It's English, German, Portuguese, French, and it's one more. Lord help me. It's gonna come to me. But it's 5 languages that I'm ultimately going to do to start. Okay. So when you buy one book, you help me to complete it. Spanish, you're right. You're so smart. See, people have been on here. They know how this works. Okay, yes. So it's going in Spanish too. Thank you. All right. So yeah, so if you grab one of these books, you're helping. If you say, well, Lord, I haven't done anything for church, church is where your heart is. Okay. So it definitely support this series and you are doing something for the kingdom of God. All right. So here are the first 6 books of prayers that are completed. Okay. Valspa, thank you so much for following. I see you. I appreciate you. The Chef Mate, I appreciate you for being on here. Sincerely, I do. Okay. King Lay, thank you for doing comments. I see you as well. So here are the first 60 prayers that are done and you will be able to have access to before the end of the year. All right. Let's do this. This is the first 6. Okay. So if you do have a write anything easily in your cart, be sure to definitely check out, because I know there was about 4 or 5 of you that put it in your cart. When you check out, it'll definitely remove the inventory and then also allow me to ship the book after the live. Okay. So I am going to the mail today. I thank you, Chef Mate. I see that you purchased Way Process. I will be putting your package in the mail today and I will give you tracking. Okay. So here are the 60 prayers that are done with a call to pray right now. This is a check-in for the hearts. We're at 18,000 likes so far. Our goal is 20. So we're 2,000 away and I'm probably about 15, 20 minutes outside of ending the live. So if we can push it up, ramp it up and get to 20,000, thank you all so much. Continue to like, share, and follow me if you haven't. And we'll knock this out. We're at 18,100, okay? Just in case you're wondering. So you're doing all the right stuff. I thank y'all. Here we go. Here are the 60 prayers, okay? If any of these you need, get one book, you get them all, okay? I'm also going to share a different link over here because all of the books are accessible on this link. You can also buy the whole collection at once, okay? So if you are watching this and you know you want to get all 12 books to support what I'm doing, feel free to use that link, and I thank you in advance for supporting us. The digital series, if you want to buy the whole digital series for a call to pray, is $60, okay? What that means is you're going to get every book for all 12 volumes sent to you as soon as they're done, okay? You're also going to get free bonuses when you do support the series. So I am also going to give you one completed collection for you to give to someone else. Okay, so that means I'm gonna give you 12 books and I'm gonna give someone else 12 books as well. Okay, when you buy the physical books, it is $288 with tax and shipping. I think it's like $308. Okay, but what that's gonna allow me to do, it's gonna allow me to give you 5 digital completed series that you can share with other people. And of course, you'll be able to physically write in the books so you can track your prayers all year. Also, I'm going to give you the audio books for free. Okay. All of these books will have audio books by next year. So if you do get all 12 physical books, you will get all the audio books, all the digital books, and I'm going to give you 5 to give to other people. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Chef Mate. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. So if that sounds good to you, if you are willing to support, I'm willing to support you and tell you thank you. Okay. Sincerely. Here's the 60. All right. You ready? And I did see you. I saw you use the link. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. So if you're between a rock and a hard place, I want to show you how to get out. Check in. All right, real quick. We're at 19,100 likes. We're less than 900. Nope. Change that. 800 likes away. We're at 19.2. So y'all, we're right there. So goal is 20,000. Thank y'all so much for pushing this on TikTok. I see you and I appreciate you. Direction. If you need direction today, confusion, if you're confused about what to do, where to go, how to do something, it's in this prayer. Okay. Defeat it. If you feel that way, let's break that. Okay. Heartbreak is real. Anger, frustration, loneliness, abandonment, abuse, betrayal, divorce, marriage, single, patience, parenting, finances, help, encouragement, spiritual growth, breaking patterns, children, spouses, parents, death, despair, sexuality, sin, character, or family. If any of those topics or things you're lifting up, you're praying about, I want to let you know that's volume 1. Okay. If right now supporting the series financially is not something you can do, it's okay. I want you to get volume 1 for free. Okay. You can go to my profile here on TikTok, click the link, go to my site, look for this book where it'll say free, click it, add it to your cart, check out, it'll come to your email. Okay. Over here, in case you want to get the free book, you can use this link, click it, go through the checkout, add the free copy. You're done. You will get volume 1 for free. Okay. And those 30 books are in there. All right, volume 2. This is what we're going to be praying about, seeking the Father about. The best part about these books is the journaling, because we'll say we don't hear from God, we don't see him answering us. But the truth is, are you writing it down? Are you looking at what he's doing, what he's saying, how he's relating to you? Or are you keeping silent? Okay. So I want you to write them down, and then I want you to review your book at least the next month or 2 months later. Try to review them every quarter. Okay. You'll see how much the Father loves you, how much he's listening, how much he's there. Okay. Because it's easy to say God don't exist when you can't see him. But when you see him, you're going to be like, nah, I know God exists. Because look at my prayer journal. This is all the stuff I've been praying. This is all the stuff I've been thinking and wanting to do. And now it's manifesting. Do you know when I do vision boards, all of it happens? Now, last year, when I said that, I said 80%. Do y'all know 100% of what I put on that vision board is true today? Okay. And I put stuff on there like life insurance. I put stuff in there like get married. Okay. Not just get married to anybody, but finding the one that the Father sent for me is a whole nother thing. That happened. Do you know, like I said, that I wanted to accomplish this book goal. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do a certain amount of books. I wanted to sell over 1,000. I did. In 1 year, I sold 1,000 copies this year, not total. You see what I'm saying? So the Father's not afraid of what you're believing him for. Trust him. Allow him to show you something about you. Okay, allow me to finish this list. Okay, if this list can bless you, go ahead and get the free book, volume 1. Or if you want to support the series, feel free to grab the one that fits what I'm going to talk about now. Okay, this is volume 2. Okay, I'm going to take you to volume 2 now. Let me see, where is volume 2? Volume 2 is the yellow one. You'll see a young man on the cover. Volume 2. Here's what's in it. Courting. If you want to get married, that's what courting is. Okay. Unity, strength, confidence, faith, hope, the Sabbath. If you don't understand it, it's in there. Okay. Transformation. Just to check in, y'all, we hit over 20,000. I know Stephen is in here saying, let's hit 50,000. I'm glad we hit our goal of 20,000, and we're actually 200 past it. So thank y'all for your faithfulness and sharing and liking the live. I appreciate you. Okay. Yes, we're at the Sabbath. Transformation, education, change. If you need to be under an open heaven, it's in this book. This prayer is blessing, the power of Yah, the presence of Yah. If you're dealing with illness, injury, broken, wholeness, if you want to be whole, I want to help you. Health, protection, battle stand. If you think you're saved and you're not saved because you're making mistakes, I want you to understand this prayer is one that will deliver a lot of us. Okay. Now, if you are wanting to get the digital copies for books outside of volume 1, Okay. All the other books are $5 to get the digital copies. Okay. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to get the free one and then I'm going to get some other ones, then they're $5 if you want digital copies, but you have to click on my profile to go to that link to get to there. Okay. Let's keep going. Health, protection, battle sin, mental health, impossible, answered prayer, delayed prayer, love, belief, actions, consistency, and focus. If any of these things you're dealing with, you want to pray over, you know you need to deal with, I want to encourage you, start with volume 2. Okay, here's volume 3. If you're like, okay, where are we going to next, Crystal? We're going here. This is in volume 3. Volume 3 is the longest book I've done so far. It's like 170 pages. Okay, just so you know. All right, 3, fill me up. Bitterness, hopeful, joy, increase, wisdom, discernment, laziness, freedom, disappointment, excitement, depression, addiction, food, a daily routine. If you're thankful for what the Father has done, that's a prayer for you. Okay. If you're going through spiritual warfare, witchcraft, delay, jail, if you're in jail, got friendly friends in jail, it's for you. Failure, beauty, selfish, a narcissist is around you, or if you're struggling, okay, hard-headed, business, dreams, goals, achievement, and insecure. That is in volume 3. Okay, volume 4, friendship. Oh, hold on, let me pin it. Oh, I'm about to go. All right, y'all, we're rounding this out. I am just about done. I'm gonna go through these titles so you know what's in them. And then I am going to jump off this live. I have 2% on TikTok. So I'm going to get through this. These are in stock. Okay. In stock is volume 4. All right. Volume 5 and 6 are coming. All right. So let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. I think somebody did a comment. Hi, how you doing? Let me see who did that. Hey, Gilbert, how you doing? Okay. I see you, Gilbert. Welcome. All right. So here's 4. Here's the last one in stock. Friendship, pregnancy, abortion, guidance, growth, academics, protection, providing, humility, multitasking, purity, charity, endurance, spiritual understanding, time, comfort, hospitality, judgment, legal. You're going through a legal battle. This is for you. Legal system, decision making, well being, stress, anxiety, comparison, affection, wisdom, worrying, doubt, deliverance, or repentance. Okay. If any of those topics or stuff you're dealing with, this is a really good book to start with. It's a really good book to dive into. I want to let you know on TikTok, thank y'all so much, TikTok Nation. We did 20,800 likes, nearly 20,900. And I want to tell y'all, thank you. I'm at 1% on this phone. So I want to make sure that I give you my best salutations. May the Father bless you, keep you. And oh, it just died, y'all. My bad. So, wait, yes, let me see. I can probably reconnect in a second. But anywho, I want to let y'all know, thank y'all so much. I know we've been rolling strong. We've been going at this since earlier today. And I am nearly done. So if you want to grab copies of any of the books, if you have or you plan on it, I want to thank you in advance. I know some people had it in their carts over here and some were looking at, let me see, I think it ended. Let me see. Yeah. Go to live on the device and you're live on another device. Latest version of TikTok to resume. Okay, hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can just do it this way. But anywho, so yes, I want to thank y'all for allowing me for sure to be with you. I want to tell y'all have a wonderful day. For many of you that will choose to support what I'm doing with a call to pray, I thank you. I don't think words can express it enough. Feel free to click on that link and support that ministry. And I believe it'll bless you and all those that will benefit from what you will do. All right. So may y'all be blessed. Have a beautiful day. And thank you for your comments, support, and orders in advance. And I will get them into the mail in the next hour or so. Okay. So look out for tracking. Until then, bye-bye for now. YouTube, thank you so much. Facebook, thank you. Instagram, thank you. LinkedIn, thank you. TikTok was to my left, and I thank them already. So thank you all for being on these live platforms to support what the Father's doing through me. May he continue to bless you richly, you and your family.